What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another Forward Progress live watch along right here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network, and powered, as always, by Pinnacle Sportsbook. Great finish to that game. I'm in a very chipper mood right now. Didn't have a lot of bets here on divisional round this weekend, but got home on the Lions over, won some props earlier on. So overall, good day. Hopefully it was the same for everyone else out there in the chat. As a reminder, it's a very interactive show that we got going on over the course of the Bills and Chiefs. I see the comments in real time, as does my producer. As always, Jason Sins Cooper behind the scenes, and I will bring comments in and on screen. If you want to ask questions, I do mark them. I try to get to as many questions as possible over the course of the show, even if I can't fit it in that exact moment. So make sure you're part of the chat with the rest of the nails here. All you got to do is be subbed here on Forward Progress for 5 minutes. And if we could get right to it at the beginning here, people, smash that like button down below. YouTube sees that we're getting some early likes. They elevate things a little bit more, and we can get a little bit more viewership. Where's Kanish? Good question. He's probably knee-deep in some moonshine right now, whatever it is that he drinks, celebrating the Detroit Lions win. Good for him. Lions 49ers, the game that I wanted to see next week. So I'm happy for that. Early lines right now, 7 in that game. I'll give some thoughts over the course of the show. I have to run some numbers, but I do things a little bit differently than other people. I'm a very matchup-based handicapper, so I don't know that I can give an immediate opinion on that. But let's get to this game right here, right now. Bills and the Chiefs. Updated injury report for the Bills. Terrell Bernard is not playing today at middle linebacker. His backup, Balen Spector, is also out. You're going to see a lot of A.J. Klein at linebacker, middle linebacker for the Bills today. That's going to be a problem. Although the rest of the injury report, not as bad as it appeared to be. Christian Benford is out, but Teron Johnson cleared protocol. So they have Rasul Douglas, Teron Johnson, Dane Jackson, 3 deep at corner. I would only play the Chiefs at this price personally, and I'd only play the under. But we're looking at 10 minutes to kick off here. Very high limits on the game. I don't think that there's a huge hedge to be had. Where I'd rather focus, like I always do, is with props. Got 3 props that I've identified here that are widely available. A couple other ones where you can look for one specific thing. And then we'll get into our touchdown scores. I want to start with the Chiefs. Richie James. Receptions. Richie James has caught a ball in 8 straight games, but I'm actually going to go under here. Widely available price, plus 160. Small bet, $50. This is just a subjective feel thing, but also just I don't believe that this price is accurate. I think there's a lot of value here in the plus 160 range. I priced this closer to plus 130. You're going to see a lot of snaps today from Rashee Rice, per usual, but it's basically going to be Rice, Justin Watson, MVS, and I think Mecole Hardman gets a lot more snaps than Richie James today. We saw last week, James was only on the field 16 times. Week 17, only on the field 12 times. He's not getting a lot of targets. He's just turning that target every game into a catch. It's one of the worst bets to sweat over the course of a show. But $50, Richie James, under a half catch, plus 160. Actually, I'm betting it now, and it's starting to move. We'll change the odds on that. There's a 150 widely available as well. Like I said, I line this at 130. So shop, but I did notice right now as I'm giving this out that moved off the board as well. So do what you may with the rest of the odds that are out there. Keep going here. On the Bills side of things, Deontay Hardy, receiving yards, set very low at 6.5. Deontay Hardy. I'm going to go over on Deontay Hardy. I'm not the biggest Trent Sherfield fan. Receiving yards, 5.5 widely available as a 6.5 Pinnacle, but any of these numbers on the board, fine. He's not lined every single spot, but when you look at the Bills today, obviously Hardy being the 4th receiver, I think the Chiefs really try to take away Diggs and Cook in this game and force other people to beat them. And again, like I said, I'm not the biggest Trent Sherfield fan. Deontay Hardy on the field for 14 snaps back-to-back games, but not only that, getting targets as well. Trent Sherfield was on this field for 42 snaps last week, didn't get a target. Deontay Hardy did. I'm going over on this. Again, small bet, $50. Finally, James Cook. I'm going to zig where everyone else, I'm going to zag where everyone else is zigging, I guess, or the opposite way around. Receptions for James Cook, 2.5. Seems pretty low. Get some targets. Again, this is just a philosophy for me. I'm going under on James Cook. Under, not over 2.5 receptions, under. Widely available prices in the 115 range. I think this should be a pick 'em at least. One thing I've also noticed with Josh Allen over the course of his career in the playoffs is he has less reluctance to check down. He runs the ball a lot more in situations where he's stuck. Regular season, he'll check down, no problem. But in the postseason, he uses his legs a lot more. Because of that, I don't think that this is appropriately priced. I think this should be a pick 'em. $50, James Cook. Those are going to be the three that are widely available right now. Let's go to Patrick Mahomes really quickly. Our show sponsor, Pinnacle, available in Canada. Highly, highly recommend that you check them out. If you're going to sign up, use code HAMMER. But the pricing is great. Patrick Mahomes interceptions. That's what I want to look at. The no at Pinnacle is an off-market price that I believe is worth betting. If you can get Patrick Mahomes to not throw an interception at an underdog price, I believe that this is worth betting. We'll lock that in, $50. Half our user base here is Canadian and has access to it. Go for it if you can. If you don't have Pinnacle, get Pinnacle. Like I said, always want to get the best possible lines. Another off-market price, if you want to play it, Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the receiving yards game. It's only at one book. I won't name them. You can do your research. But in the receiving yards game, there's an over 10.5 out there at plus 185. I believe that to be a valuable bet. I price this at closer to plus 150. Clyde Edwards-Helaire over in the receiving yards game. Let's get into the touchdown props. Everyone in the chat, drop in who you like for the Bills as a first TD. For the Bills. For the Chiefs, I already got a couple options picked out. But for the Bills, I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me for great pricing. For the Chiefs, I want to start with Noah Gray. Noah Gray right now, you can find him at least 50-1 in several shops, but there's a 70-1 out there for first TD. Noah Gray gets over 30 snaps a game. If the Bills are going to try to focus on Kelsey over the middle of the field, I think there's an opportunity for Noah Gray here. So we're going widely available price, 70-1. We're going to go $5 on Noah Gray. That would be a huge hit to win $350 for anyone out there. I also like him in the anytime touchdown market, but I prefer the first TD market. Another one out there in the first TD market is Patrick Mahomes at 30-1. I priced Patrick Mahomes closer to 25-1, first TD as well. We're going to take the 30 also for $5. On the Bills side, I'm going to go with the chat here. I want to cheer for everyone in the chat here. We got a lot of Knox, but we got Knox and Shakir that are pretty much hand in hand. I'm just going to pick what I think is the better price. So Dawson Knox, first TD. I personally priced him at 27-1. I'm not seeing anything out there that's less than that. Khalil Shakir, I did price at, I guess I'm not in love with either of these. Let's just put it that way. But I do want to get in on the sweat with the chat. Let's do Khalil Shakir 18-1. And I'm going to bet this with you guys in real time here. And we'll go $5 here as well, Jason, for a sweat. And I'll get that in there as well. So Khalil Shakir for everyone in the chat. Now let's look at anytime touchdown and see if I can find someone that has some value that's in the anytime touchdown market. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I mean, Pacheco is honestly borderline priced. He's priced in plus 110, plus 115. Don't really want to go there. I hate going towards the top of the board. Okay, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, anytime touchdown, plus 750. We're going to go there. And let's keep it $10 here. Something small. But I do expect Helaire to be at least part of it. I don't like Stephon Diggs at all today. I know I've seen some stuff about Diggs in here for the most part. The Chiefs this year against number one receivers have been absurdly good at taking them out of the game. Their top two corners have been amazing in erasing number ones. Both McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed on the outside have been really good. Just going to pull up the numbers here. Versus number ones this year, the most that they gave up versus a number one receiver this year was Devontae Adams with 73. In the second game, he got 4. Calvin Ridley, 32. DJ Moore, 41. Justin Jefferson, 28. Tyreek Hill, 62. A.J. Brown, 8 yards. Jamar Chase, 41 yards. Diggs, 24 in the first game. I really, really think the Chiefs are going to try to erase Diggs and Cook today and have anyone else on the Bills beat them. That, to me, is the Spagnuolo game plan for today. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that's going to be it for now. And we'll look at live betting markets over the course of the game. If I had to bet an anytime touchdown score for the Bills, it would probably be Deontay Hardy, 15-1 available out there. But this has been the case for the Chiefs all year. Number one receivers, big-time targets, they don't catch the ball. Very good cover corners. We'll see what happens. Diggs is certainly capable. Geeked out basketball. I hate to break it to you, but Gabe Davis ain't playing today. Gabe Davis is not in there. As a reminder to everyone out there, smash that like button down below. Game's about to kick off. I see Patrick Mahomes kneeling on the field. I have all my friends messaging me in real time looking for bets as if like they don't know that I'm on air right now. It's the classic, the dumbest of the dumb. My group of friends right here. Doesn't matter how many times I tell where. Jason, you got anything you're cheering for tonight?
I have like so much Chiefs. It's crazy. So I'm sure everyone saw the ESPN bet Chiefs stuff. I was already heavy Chiefs before that. I have a couple of teasers closing out with the Chiefs. I took the Chiefs on the money line earlier in the week at Eric Eager. I like that. And even still, I maybe this is a rookie move and I'm going to learn the hard way, but I was tempted by that plus 150. It's a crazy price there. So I'm like very, very heavy on Chiefs.
No, I would never blame anyone for taking that. I mean, even if you kind of like the Bills in the game, you probably should have taken that Chiefs price.
Yeah.
Relative to where the market is.
I guess this brings up a good question though. It's like, I guess it all depends on risk tolerance for it's betting dependent, better dependent. But how much would you like, at what point would you not bet that? Right. Like how much risk would you not bet that? That's like, I guess the question that I was trying to figure out for myself. And I guess the amount that I had right now on the Chiefs before I bet that, I said, you know what, I'm willing to lose more. So yeah, I took that ESPN bet / score bet promo. Quick little gripe here. I don't see the game on DAZN, so I'm like going blind right now.
Sometimes it just doesn't appear till a little bit too late there, but I'm sure it'll be there. I'm positive it'll show up for you at some point.
Let me know if it's kicked off yet, because I might.
No, we're not kicked off yet. I'm watching. Who is this? I can't remember. Never remember his name. Davis Sanchez making some picks here for the game. I see a lot of the regulars in the chat. Ryan Morrow, M. Hunter, MILF Hunter, as he's come to be known. Jameel, Dylan, Io, Scott Dobish, JetBlue Amigo, How to Win, Emmanuel Acho. Appreciate everyone tuning in here again. Tonight, this is bad news if you like the Chiefs. I'll tell you right now, spread investor already down today on the Bucks. Just had to check really quickly. Ooh. If the Chiefs can overcome the spread investor curse, then this could be a team of destiny for real this year. This could be a team of destiny.
Do we know what Clay Travis is on for this game? Or
That's a good question. Has that guy won a playoff game yet?
I think he's lost every single game. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to his account. I'm going to go to exposing Clay Travis and see.
Yeah, exposing Clay Travis will have it there very, very quickly. That's probably the way to go.
Bills 2.5. Yep.
Bills. Okay. Wow. The stoppable force meets movable object.
See, the only scary part about the Bills 2.5 here is that it could land on that 1 or 2 range, and that's where all the KC backers get screwed. So
yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with the people here. Bills fans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that today I'm gonna be cheering for the Chiefs. It's not even super big. I have some Chiefs. I'm on it with Eager from the Best Bet show on Thursday. Which, by the way, if the Chiefs win money line, that's a sweep this week, right? Because Hitman got first quarter Packers, Suma got Packers. I got the over in the Lions game today. So it'll be a sweep. It's a rare sweep. But God, like my Bills friends, my friends that are Bills fans right now, they're driving me nuts today. Like they think they've won the Super Bowl already. I don't know what's going on here. Like every year these guys bow out. This year is the year. I hear this every single year. You got, as a fan, anyone in the chat who's watching this, listen, if you're better than me and you root with your friends when your team's out of the playoffs, good on you. I'm not that guy. I don't want any of my friends' teams to win the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it, especially Buffalo. So I will be rooting for Kansas City today. I apologize, Bills fans. I'm sorry. I do mean it, but I cannot find it within myself to root for the Buffalo Bills. I just can't. Cannot.
Fair enough here. And that's also why like I get criticized for not having an NFL team. I want the Cowboys to win so I can watch you celebrate. I want the Chiefs to win so I can watch. Okay, maybe not the Chiefs. I don't know, the Lions to win to watch Kanish to celebrate.
There's a difference. So like, I don't want that. Like if the Chiefs win, I know Eric Eager will be happy. Like I know Sharp Clark will be happy.
Yes.
But they're not going to be the guys that rub it in everyone's face.
Yeah, fair.
I don't want the guys that rub it in everyone's face. And my friends are like that.
And they're all Bills fans?
You're like, my buddy Mauro's in the chat right now. He's a 49ers fan, right? Like I can't deal with the 49ers winning the Super Bowl because he'll never let me forget about it, right? Can't happen. It's very few teams I can go with right now. But to me, I don't have any close friends that are Chiefs fans. Okay, so
fair. Close, obnoxious friends. Fair.
Yeah, Ravens. You know Ravens are good for me too. I don't like, Ravens are fine.
Yep. So fuck the Bills. I like it.
Yeah, like listen, I understand the pain of like watching your team lose every year. I feel for those people.
But I was gonna say, are the Bills the new Steelers? Right? The Steelers kept running into the Patriots for all those years and could never get by them in the playoffs. And this kind of feels the same way. Don't want to listen. Don't want to. That was like the ultimate jinx right there. But
well, it's a weird year. Like the weirdest thing about this is that this is by far the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has ever had. Yet this was I guess like the least impressive season he's had, and the most question marks that people have about the Chiefs going into the year, right? Yeah. Like no one was really impressed with the Chiefs this year. I'm not convinced that they're just going to flick a switch and be amazing on offense. To me, they don't have the downfield threat. They can't throw the ball downfield. They can methodically move it down the field, 7-8 minute drives, but they don't have the explosive plays in them offensively this year. But they actually have the defense. For once.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I look at two teams that are honestly very similar here. I like KC's defense better than Buffalo. I think I marginally like Buffalo's offense a bit better, but the matchup against Spagnuolo is interesting. Are you ripping espresso shots there? People want to know.
Past tense. I already ripped.
You ripped an espresso shot.
I had to do it because like the 6:15 start time, 6:30 start, it's kind of throwing off my groove. I've gotten into like a good groove for these games. I'm sure you have too, where we're starting at 8. I'm like ready to go. My body, like my internal clock is ready to go. My internal clock wasn't ready for the 6:30. So I had to get myself going a little bit here. So I had to.
It messed me up a little bit too. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit out of my typical routine. Everything got started earlier today, but I'm prepped with another tea, I got these sore throat lozenges that have been working wonders.
Are you trading those for the
Chloraseptic.
cashews? Is that your snack for today's stream?
I don't have any food or snacks. Like, again, I'm out of the routine. Typically speaking, I would have. I guess they pushed back the start time of this game because of the way that the ending time of the Lions game. Like, it would have started by now, right? It was a 6:30 start.
Did they? It also would have been nice if they like said something.
Yeah,
I don't know if they did, but
yeah.
Are you on the total at all in this game, or?
I leaned pretty strongly to the under, but not enough to bet it. Okay. Again, it would only be KC and under for me here. Yeah. We might be able to look for a good live option this game. See how things are going early on.
Fair enough here. I had a thought. Go ahead.
Howard is right here, by the way. 83 likes is not enough.
Please get those up, guys. Come on.
Also, before we get into the game, you see me and Jason are matching today with our Pinnacle sweaters. He's got the hat on. I wanted to let the hair breathe a little bit today, you know? This, for me, is a good hair day. I wanted to show it off and let it breathe. You want to win a Pinnacle sweater? It's very easy to do so. All you got to do, go over to thehammer.bet/thenails. Thehammer.bet/thenails. Sign up over there for our community. Very easy to enter giveaways for Pinnacle swag and for BetStep swag. We're not going to send you any stupid emails. We're not selling your emails off to anyone else. Very simple way for you to enter competitions. While you're there, if you want to join the community, post in the message boards. We're going to be getting that a lot more active this upcoming week. But if you do want to win some swag, which everyone does, I know the amount of people that message me about the Pinnacle swag. Contest giveaway happening over there. Thehammer.bet/thenails.
Go check it out. Go hang out with us there. We can finally talk. I don't know who Not Porn Guy is, but definitely it wasn't me. They like the longest reception under 21.5 for Diggs there. So we can get those conversations started on that drop station, which I think is the coolest thing about it. I'm really excited for it. And if you want to win cool gear, go get it.
Here, well, let's see. Where does Rob's hairline start or end? I mean, here's the top look, right? You see the top look there?
Yeah.
But I've always had this, like, this has always been there. Like, it's not receded further. If I go back and look at past pictures, I've always had like a deeper hairline. Where I'm starting to lose it is the top. It's thinning out a little bit. It's the sports betting. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
It's the sports betting that's doing this.
I got to ask you, listen, I see some people who are way worse, than where you're at right now. So I wouldn't even worry about it if I were you, but just out of curiosity, this is kind of like more of a philosophical question, but would you ever go bald, or is it something that you would just never do? Not saying that you need it. I don't think I will ever fully lose my hair. Yeah. I got a lot of good, again, this is all stress related, right? Yes.
The genes in my family are very good, especially on my mother's side. My mother's father, my grandfather on my mother's side had hair till he died in his 90s, right? So I don't think I'm at risk of that. It's the stress and the anxiety. Betting when I was 16 years old probably contributed to some of this, but I'm in a good spot. If it gets to a point where it's all coming out, I'll go shaved head for life. Like, I'm not going to be the guy hanging on to something but so far I'm okay. I can live with this. Bills are going to get the ball first, by the way. We're going to have 4 guests on this show tonight. We're going to have Rex Byers, bookmaker in the industry, tons of experience betting and booking U.S. sports. We'll have him on. Steve Fezzik will join us again here tonight in the second quarter. Third quarter, Johnny from BetStamp. Hopefully he comes ready to find us some live bets.
He was great last time.
Oh yeah, he's looking for bets nonstop. Firing. Fourth quarter, Hitman joins us, fresh off of a best bet win to improve to 3-15 on the year. But a win is a win. And right now, he's sitting up here. Hitman in the fourth quarter. I will get a sync going. Play clock is at 13 seconds, 12, 11, and the snap is off. And quickly to Diggs. And he fumbles on the first play of the game.
Come on.
Recovered by the Bills.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on it if it's an actual fumble. For replays, just let me know, and I'll keep an eye on it during the actual play of game, because The snap just went off for me. So
Yes.
I'm going to do a quick poll if you're behind or ahead of me. I mean, I think
Yeah.
everyone's ahead of me. Sorry. Behind or ahead
Well,
of me.
people, I wish at some point in life we could get all on the same page for these games. Same timing and everything like that. Unfortunately, we're all across North America and the world. We have Drew Frustenberger, who comes in here every now and then from Germany. We have that other guy, Weiss, well, whatever. I don't remember what that guy's name was. My bad.
Was it Weiss with like that
Weiss.
special character and special W? I don't know.
We got an illegal batting penalty here on the first drive. Dalton Kincaid batted the ball out of bounds.
Didn't know we were watching baseball here.
Yeah, not allowed.
But
anyways. All right, let's get into it here. Really quickly, my play clock, I'll count it down as the ref blows it in. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and the snap is off here. And Allen threw a death ball, hospital ball, as they might call it, to Diggs over the middle field. But you know what? Someone's shaking up. Looks like Edwards for the Chiefs. Okay, let's get into it. His first appearance here on Forward Progress. This guy has more worldwide experience betting and bookmaking U.S. sports than pretty much anyone you'll ever meet. I've got the privilege to hang out with him a lot over the course of the years at Bet Bash and different trips to Las Vegas. Rex Byers joins us here on Forward Progress. Rex, how are things?
I'm good, Rob. How about you, pal?
I'm doing good. Do you have a rooting interest in this game in terms of side or total?
You know, it's funny you say that. I actually had all three of the first games. I had no interest at all in anything. And this game, I'm under 46. Took a shot at it on Tuesday morning, kind of a weather situation deal. And I thought, well, if it doesn't work out, I still like under. I mean, you've seen the way the Chiefs play most of the year, especially after halftime. I mean, they just don't go over. I mean, their defense is as good as it's ever been in the Mahomes era, and their offense is not close to anything that he's had before.
Yep. I told the people right when the stream started today, I could only bet the under in this game. I did end up staying off of it with the Bernard injury at linebacker for the Bills. And I don't know how much it will really matter. I just know the Chiefs like to work the middle of the field on crossing routes. Kelsey, I think that's going to have some sort of impact on the game.
You combine that with some of the secondary injuries and the fact that Andy Reid's probably the best coach in the history of the league, I would tend to agree that they're going to exploit some problems. That's the reason why I couldn't have it. A lot of the sharper money that I respect more was on Kansas City. I lean Buffalo myself, but there's too much money that I respected against it to be able to get involved. Do you play a lot of props, Rex? I'm not a prop guy. I'm not saying, well, I don't do it. And I listen to Mitch and Paul, and I hear Paul Charchian's been great with them all year, and he had a lot of good points. And, you know, Chernoff has a lot of good stuff, you know, talking about what he thinks will happen in game situations. That's not, I mean, I can't get down for enough to make it worthwhile. And that, you know, it's just hard pass for me on that stuff. I'm not good enough at it to win either. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you're Vegas based, correct? You still out there? Still living in here, condo in Vegas, right, half mile from the South Point. So if you need something at the South Point, let me know. Send me some cash, and I'll run for you. Well, that's what I was gonna like. Is the majority of your action placed in the sports books right now, or are you at home a lot of the day using the apps? Like, what's the split there for you now? I live and work at home. I have 9 TVs. I'm not gonna turn my laptop on. I can. Why not? The hell, it's a commercial. So I have a setup that, you know, I don't need them all, but I'm watching Indiana State on one TV and then the football game in the middle. So I got 9 TVs, and then my office setup is as follows. Yeah, you don't have enough monitors there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have a pretty good work setup in terms of being able to stay at home. It's if I go out, it's because there's a gathering of Westgate, with a reunion with Murray and his people, or, you know, to see my friend Jeff Davis, or, you know, somebody like that. I don't, there's no reason to leave most of the time. So I usually stay home. The people are a big fan of your setup here, Rex. Huge fans of the setup. I'm not seeing it. As am I. You need to have a good swivel chair, though, if you're going to rock that. That's the only thing. I've got. I don't know. I think my chair's okay. I've had this one for like 6 or 7 years. It's like, it's getting old. There's shit going on the floor with it. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss or not. Yeah. So bottom line is, there's some stuff. I have to vacuum the floor every couple of days. But yeah, ultimately, if you have OCD, you got a problem with it. And the people on Twitter yesterday, a couple of them let me know about it because my boxes have to be far enough apart where I can use the remotes to get through all of them. So there's cords everywhere.
You
So
know
that's
what?
a
I
problem.
love how you figured this out. It's down to a science. There's nothing worse than the multi-TV setup.
You change a channel and then 3 of them change. You're like, damn it, what
Exactly.
the hell's going on? So I kind of knew going in like what I had to do, like to get it set up right. I had to buy different TVs, put them in different spots. I got 3 high senses, another Japanese brand top right, a couple of them in the middle, and then I got 7 boxes which are like they're on tape delay. But the 2 that I have at the top middle and middle, which is the one I'm watching the game on, are on antennas. So if the game is on CBS, ABC, Telemundo, Unimass, Univision, Fox, I have a faster feed than you. Like right now, my number it's a 1308, 1307, 1306.
Yeah, you're even ahead of me right now. And I usually have one of the fastest feeds out here.
Yep. When I was in Costa Rica, we used to have a really good feed as well down there, but it's still like 3 or 4 seconds behind me right now. I was talking to one of my friends that was watching. I was like, "Where are you guys at?" With this earlier game, and they were like, "We're 4 seconds behind you."
So we've already had some big developments here in this game, Rex, with the 4th down going for it for the Bills in the early going here, which looked like a bad spot on that 3rd down, honestly. But they get it. This was like close to a fumble, but looks like Cook is down.
His elbow was down. You'll see the other angle. They'll show it. Yeah.
Looked almost like he hyperextended his arm when he planted it on the ground there.
I actually think it's kind of funny that the way they handled that. So when the team knows that the other team's not going to win the challenge, they'll take the play clock way down low and like almost bait them to try to challenge. Like they did that there. The Bills could have snapped the ball with like 14 or 15 seconds, and he waited. Like, we know it's not a fumble. We're gonna hope you lose a timeout here, and they didn't do it.
Yep.
Which just goes to show how good Reed and his assistants are.
Yeah. This is looks like Willie Gay was spying Josh Allen on this play, which is interesting from a props perspective.
What's your spot there? You have over or under rushing yards for him?
I got nothing, but nowadays
you can bet him in game. I forgot about
exactly.
That.
That's exactly it. It's I kind of like to really look at these first couple drives here and see
how the game starts. Yeah. So Adam was saying that the other day on Mitch and Paul. That's a great play there. They cleared out the wide out, and they were able to run the tight end on an out, and there was nobody else there. It was just one-on-one. Zone, yeah, nope, man.
In real time, it looked like they mix up a lot of their coverages. So it was man coverage, and he ended up on the safety. It looked like he bobbled it in real time.
He did, but the replay will show that he did catch it. I was like you. I was like, I don't know for a second if it was a catch or not. But once again, they weren't rushing to run the play. I mean, they wanted to keep the other team's personnel out there. But it wasn't like, we maybe got away with one.
Yeah. Question for you here: Does Rex originate, or does he? They say chase team top down better, or bottom up better.
I don't. I respect what other people do. I don't follow anybody unless you give me a reason to. Like, no, I take it. There's one guy in the NBA, and I won't say his name. Let's put it like this: he's out of Denver, and that will shorten the field down to about 3 or 4 people. Who I will follow blind in the first halves. Now, I was involved down at CR with a guy that we lost a lot of money that ended up running the Dallas Mavericks for a few years. In the first halves on the totals in the NBA, this guy's the second best that I've seen, and I bet that stuff blind, and all it does is win. So other than that, I don't almost follow anybody blind anything because I do my own work. I don't know how to bet the NBA or book the NBA first halves. Like one game could be 238, and the first half total might be 122. And another game could be 238. It might be 115. I don't know. I don't have a database. I have no clue. I have no clue how they come up with the numbers, and I have no clue how they bet the numbers. So those are the things that I'll bet blind of people that I know that are always going to win. But for the most part, I do my own work in college basketball, college football, and to an extent, like hockey. I kind of try to keep track of what you do the best that I can in the hockey. I respect it. I know that you're one of 3 or 4 guys that move the numbers in the world in hockey. There's not a lot of volume in it, and you win. So, obviously respect it.
Yep. Appreciate that. This has been a good drive for the Bills. Really,
really impressed.
Yeah. Now, granted, I'm not really concerned with a lot of the teams in the NFL in terms of how they start the game because you tend to get this good scripted.
You don't want to overdo it with the scripts. That's exactly right. Some of these teams have a really good plan until they get punched in the face, as Mike Tyson would say.
Yes.
So this first drive, sometimes into the second drive, depending on how many plays it takes, how many plays that they script. I mean, I mean, the argument could be like, why the fuck don't these teams script 50 plays? If they're so good at scripting, like if they're that good at that, why do they do 10 or 12 or 15? Like, just do 50, just do the whole game. Just script the whole game.
There's not enough practice time in the week, Rex. That's the only thing. They just run these plays over and over during the week and
then
try to perfect them.
The game starts, they figure it after that. The Chiefs did a good job there. They basically flushed him out and gave him very little time to do anything with it. You'll see in a second. He threw.
Right. I'm only a couple seconds behind you, so I got that.
Some of these people are liable to be like 20 seconds behind if they're watching on direct TV or some shit.
It's tough. I mean, my producer behind the scenes here, Jason's watching like our internet stream in Canada.
Horrible. It's horrendous. I'm trying to. Next year, I'm going to get a cable box set up so I can have like cable.
Why don't you go ahead? You got to. If it's only a little bit of money, don't pirate the feeds. It's have Rob give you a little bit of a raise. And then we'll go.
He's actually paying for this.
I'm paying for this. It's crazy, and I have cable in my house too. It's just I don't have direct access from where my computer is set up to the cable box. So it's like I got to figure out a way to finagle
absolute dream for underbetters.
That's the drive you needed, Rex. Right? The 7-minute drive.
That was a 7-minute drive that results in a field goal. And they don't have to make this. Now, they're going the right direction. I don't know if you guys were aware or going in the direction that KC was kicking to in the first half or the first quarter, is a negative win thing. So Buffalo defers, I think. Is that right? No, KC deferred. And then Buffalo took the win in the first half. Yep. So this should be a chip shot as long as he hits it. Yeah. Oh, it blew. God, he fucking almost missed it. Sorry for the language.
That's all right.
Yeah. Made it by a couple inches, but yeah, you'll see it's blowing. This is like I said, it's not like it's that cold, but you combine there's wind and it's a crosswind. It makes it tough to throw it. I mean, I have trouble seeing how this game goes over. I think a live under bet's in order still at anything 40. If you can find a 45, it's still worth a bet. I'm actually going to look myself here.
I'm going to pull a Pinnacle right now as well as soon as we get that live price.
Go to my Buckeye. A couple others here. Let's see. I shouldn't say that out loud, right? I'm in Vegas.
You know what? It's illegal. People know what not illegal for you to bet there.
That's right.
Yeah, illegal for them to book
my agent to collect. My agent for agent to collect for me is
yes.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on this comment for a while here, but you mentioned that Andy Reid, you consider him to be the best coach in history.
I think he's in every argument. I think he's in the NFL. You can argue that he's now today. This is going to be an indictment if they don't win. Then I'll have to knock him down a peg or two, because I don't think their talent's that great. If they can go up here and beat this team, then I think that I have a stronger argument. With that, if they don't win tonight, then I think that maybe you're allowed to say maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 even. Okay. I'm going to bet that. I can get that. Let's see.
3 even.
Yeah. And let's see what the total is. I may have to get involved there. 43 and a half. Oh, they got a 30-cent line on the total. I hate that.
It's the worst. Minus 120 one way.
I respect it. I understand. Yeah. It's 30,
of course. I get it. I get why it happens. It just sucks for us bettors. Yeah.
It's tough to beat it betting it. Promise you that much.
Yep. Well, you're ahead from pregame now, which is good. You got a good position.
Yeah. I'm going to sit it out. I'm not going to do anything with it live yet. I'll tell you what, I'm going to bet it.
I mean, a lot of people who are in this spot, they kind of would hope now for, the
touchdown, and then the sicko people that want to really gamble. Yeah. You root for a touchdown, then you bet it again.
Exactly.
Not me. No. I'm not greedy. I'm good. I got enough 46. I'm full, but
yeah, I'm the guy that likes to root for my bets, not against my bets, so I can bet it again during the game. Like, I don't know where these people come from. That's not how I ever grew up betting sports.
Here's the thing about it, Rob, is that you bet enough on the game pregame that you don't need to worry about it. A lot of these people maybe only bet $50 or $100, and then they're like, "Man, I wish I would have bet like a nickel," and that's why they root against it, because they want more. Right. If you could put yourself in a good spot pregame and get the right number, you don't have to worry about all that. You know what
exactly.
I mean? So
exactly. I saw the other day Fezzik, who we're having on here in the second quarter, tweeted something at Paige Spiranak, and I was thinking in my head of putting together for the Hammer a horny bettors bracket. Everyone's always doing the same type of brackets all the time for content. And Fezzik would have been a 1 seed. After this convo, Rex, I think maybe you would be a 1 seed in one of the quadrants as well.
Well, I don't know what you're doing. You're rating the wrong people. We need to go back to Paige. Paige is a 1 seed, and she's the 1 seed.
Yes.
I mean, that's It's
she's
anytime
great.
that she tweets, I mean, the best thing
She
about
knows what
her,
she's doing.
she
Yeah.
knows what she's doing. Yeah,
Yep.
everything is all
Hey.
pointed, and she earns to it. So this is incredible by Mahomes. This is an incredible play. You'll see it in a second.
But he's just such a great, like,
Improvisation.
the sack avoidance is so big. Like, I tweeted today, there was a play where Baker Mayfield got sacked. Aiden Hutchinson just ran free at him, right?
Second quarter. Yep, I remember.
And maybe I misworded the tweet, but like, Baker struggles with picking up like anyone rushing off the outside. It's like he doesn't see it.
That's his biggest weakness, to be honest. He has a lot of strengths. He does a lot of things well, but that's the one thing that he does so bad compared to the people that were drafted number 1 or in the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks. It's really bad if you say that Bryce Young knows more about an outside rush than you do. And you've been playing in the league for 6 or 7 years.
For me, though, like, you look, free rusher, fine, but like, he just doesn't see it at all. Guys like Mahomes, guys like Allen, they see that, they spin away from it. They just know how to not get taken down. And that's not to say they never get sacked, but they're very good at avoiding sacks. That's what makes them the elite quarterback. So that's interesting. Chiefs offense also looking good here to start. That pass to Kelsey for 14. They had Rashee Rice prior to that.
Another script situation. Just got to hold them to 3. And if they do, then under, it seems really, really good because of what we discussed earlier.
Yeah. Man, these Pacheco runs, this guy runs like he's trying to kill people on these runs sometimes.
And to be fair, that's probably, you if you want to break Buffalo down later, the good way to get to them is to try to, if you can smash them in the face up front early, then you really got to have an advantage. They do, like I said, we got 3 or 4 injuries in the secondary that they're going to have to deal with. So they're particularly hesitant to try to do much. They're not crowding the box.
Yeah.
There's another play fake. Let's see what happens here. Nice play. They lose yards. Yeah. So it'll be curious to see what they do after this first drive. And yeah, like I say, when you bet the in-game props like you're talking about, you can't put too much stock in this first drive for either team because of the scripts. And that becomes tough because you talked about, like, okay, I want to be able to watch a drive or 2 or a quarter. We might have to watch 2 quarters to figure out what the hell's going on.
The best way to play a lot of these in-game props, Rex, comes off of injuries really in the game, because you get a receiver injured
on someone. Yeah.
You can take the receiving yardage for like the next receiver over. You could take the drive to be a punt if it ends up being like a number 1 receiver or something. Like Debo got hurt last night, and you had 2 minutes to bet that drive was going to be a punt. And obviously has a tangible difference on the game. So.
Yeah, and then of course, like if a defensive back gets hurt, then the offense picks on him. That's what happened earlier with Detroit. Tampa Bay had a guy get hurt, and Detroit just threw at that guy 3 or 4 times in a row. This actually was a really good throw, and the defender got there at just the last second. It was probably about a half second late. I think if he throws it just a little bit earlier, it's probably a completion.
Yeah, it's almost like, so Dane Jackson there, he kind of overran it a little bit. The ball was there, and Watson. This is
47 into the win. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, but
he nutted it. Let's see if it's good. I can't. Oh my God, the camera. You'll see it in a second. Camera guy should be fired on the spot. Get him out of there. Couldn't even see it.
Yeah, what is going on? They put the 3 on the scoreboard. They're selling. Oh my! I've never seen that. I've never seen that in the NFL before. That's like.
That's something you'd see at Coastal Carolina against Gardner Webb.
You wouldn't even. You'd still get better. What was happening there? It's like that cameraman must have been distracted by something in the crowd, or I don't know what was going on there. Never seen that before.
For NFL, that was subpar. Let's put it that way. He's fired on the spot. Get him out of there.
That's
why you got to have another guy in the truck and just get the guy in the truck. You're in.
Yeah.
Other guy's out. Get him out.
Yep.
I don't even know how much you made it by. I'd like to know, because I want to see what your distance is from that going that way.
Yeah,
it was 47. I don't know if we made it by a yard or made it by 10 or hit the net. It didn't hit the net, I don't think. So it's clearly was at the edge of his distance.
But
again, another drive that's good for under. Some good plays, some offensive stability, but on the end, no touchdown.
I like when they have the next gen stats up on screen that say like good from this distance. It's only for select games. This is Romo and Nance, so it's a CBS one. I don't think I've ever seen it on the CBS broadcast.
They don't have it, and I'll tell you another thing they don't have it that I like that NBC has. They have the PFF grade. I don't buy PFF myself. I don't bet enough on the NFL to make it worth it, but I like to see what players are worth. So they were showing like every time they put the starting lineup in there, you could see like what the guy grades out. And in NBC they don't do that. Just here's the guy, and that's it. I really think in 2024 we got to be better than that. We need to be able to know, as bettors and as fans, okay, how is your guy ranked? You might like this guy, but if he's 119 out of 125, maybe look for somebody better next year. You know what I mean? And they don't do that. NBC does. I'm a big fan of that. I'm told you I'm negative EV on almost all announcers. I love Bill Walton. I think he's fucking tremendous.
Yep.
Not because he knows about calling the game, because he'll talk about the Grateful Dead and he'll talk about some other stuff during the middle of the game in college basketball, and it's tremendous. Like, I don't need to be taught about college basketball. Dan Dockich was a really good analyst for ESPN. He doesn't work there anymore. He could break it down. He could teach me something. But for the most part, nobody else that's there now is going to teach me anything. So most of the time, I watch the games with no volume. Now, tonight, when we log off, I'm going to turn the volume back on. Not because I like Nance and Romo, because there's nothing else going on, and I'm going to listen to it. And then when there's a commercial, I'll hit mute and I'll throw the music on. Right. But yeah, like, for the most part, announcers are negative EV. But the graphics that they can show are plus EV, especially when you talk about PFF ratings or something like that. That provides an insight to something that we think we might know. If we can confirm something on a bias, oh my God, this defensive tackle is 119, but the other defensive end for Detroit's number 3, the kid from Michigan. So like, you do the best you can to try to assimilate information and say, like, did I miss something here when I was handicapping this? Because I don't have the PFF myself. I mean, I respect it, but I don't I don't have time to go in there and say I'm going to look at PFF and try to win at the NFL bet off of PFF numbers. You know what I mean? Forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it's like it's so widely accessible now that it's not going to differentiate you from other people, right?
Correct. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Spank odds. Spanky's done a hell of a job with the line service. I don't like it, but I have to have it because his injuries come first. So if you don't have it, you're missing out. You're going to get the injuries there before you're going to get them from Don Best. Right. It's the same thing. The information's out there, but you have to have as many available avenues to get to it as possible, or else you're going to have a disadvantage. You're going to be at a on the wrong side of the moves and the steam and whatever. I'm not a steam guy. I don't want to get clipped. I have a little bit of piece of some stuff. I don't want to book something that's wrong, basically. If the game's going to go to 12 and it's 10, don't be at 10. Get out of that.
Someone asked earlier whether you prefer booking or betting.
The smartest guy that I met used to be friends with Whitey Bulger before he passed away in 2017. And he said 11's always going to be bigger than 10. And that's the best answer I got. So I would say I would prefer, if it was my money and I had the money to do it on my own, I would exclusively book. I don't have enough to be able to book any sort of a big amount. So I bet, grind, scrap, and do the best that I can. But booking has always been, I've always preferred booking. I've always been able to work with people that have had bankrolls and smart people, and with people out in CR and out here in Vegas at South Point and Circa, and South Point Caesars and Westgate. I mean, these are smart people I've worked with and people I respect, and I've enjoyed booking at those spots because you're going to get some sharp business, and you're also going to get some square play, and you're going to be able to figure out what the right side is pretty quickly most of the time.
Pretty noticeable thing for me so far in this game is the lack of pressure that the Chiefs D-line has gotten. They're going to need Chris Jones to have a big game here, but if they're going to.
Buffalo's doing a lot of max protect type stuff too. If you've noticed, they had a couple of routes where they only had 3 receivers, and then this time they sent the back out there. And they had 7 guys blocking, so they're making a conscientious effort to make sure that the quarterback stays clean.
Right. You didn't go to Ball State, did you? Or is that just went to Ball State? You did go to Ball State.
Journalism.
I did not know
Ball
that.
State. Yep. I went to Testicle Tech. Go Nats.
I've never heard that before. I've actually never heard that before.
Testicle Tech is one of the nicknames back home. I call my buddy and give me Testicle Tech -6 for a dime or whatever, and he'd laugh. Yeah, I did. I went to Boston. I actually wearing this shirt because I've had a bad run this weekend, and I was like, well, this last time I was winning pretty good, I was wearing this shirt, so I put it back on today, and it didn't help. I got beat up again today in the college. So we'll see what happens in this game here, and some of your hockey.
We had a pretty quiet hockey day today. We have we bet one game and we bet both the side and total of the same game today.
I saw you. Is it the Wild? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, we have Wild and Wild under in that game.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It's in play now. I don't even want to know the score. Tell me anyways. It's fine. Tell me.
You're so far you're a winner. 2-1, 15 minutes to go in the third. So you're a small favorite to get at least one of them. I would say more, but I don't want to mush it. So
well, I don't really believe in mushes except when it comes to one person.
I'm going to guess Kanish.
No. Just a friend of mine who he's one of those guys that has a habit of always sending you a message in like the second quarter of a football game.
Good work. Fucking killed it. Great job.
Exactly.
Crushed the number.
Yeah. How did you know? How did you know? Is
I want
what
to
I
punch
get.
Those people right in the face. I hate them. I hate them all. I can't stand it. But I am. I'm very superstitious. Like I'm like one of those. If you do that to me, I'm like, we're not friends anymore. I'm sorry. You're out. Like I'm never going to give you a play again. I'm never going to give you. I mean, I can't do it. Like I don't operate that way. It is what it is. I mean, I don't like being congratulated until the clock hits 0. That's fine. Or if it's an over and the clock hits 5 minutes, that's okay as well, because that means that the game's an official game.
Right.
But if you congratulate me on an over that's already there and with 7 minutes left and be like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. We got a fucking Billy Walters power outage possibly coming here. We got some other crap. I mean, who knows? Until it gets graded. 55 minutes have to be played. And it's funny. I did an interview with the guy from the Washington Post last week, and he posted the story, was asking about like the palpable errors and stuff like that. And I gave him like 13 minutes. It was funny. He used one little small quote. I'm like,
it's the same with me.
I talked to the guy for 13 minutes.
The exact same thing with me. He's a good dude. I mean, he Danny Funt. Danny Funt.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, he's reaching out to people in the space that he knows have knowledge and.
But it's like he talked to like 6 other dudes, and they used like 9 other quotes for a lot more, and it's like me for just by the way. And then one of my buddies saw it. He's like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." I go, "No, it's not." I talked to the kid for 13 minutes. Yeah. I want fucking more than one little baby quote.
That's just the way it works.
Stuff that he could have used. I know, but that's the thing. The thing that I wasn't mad about the one baby quote. I was mad about the fact that I used stuff that I thought was better than what he put in there. And of course, I have a journalism degree from Ball State, so I have an opinion about what I would do. Right. If there was any money in that, I'd go back into the business, but there's not. Sports Illustrated. I actually went on my Facebook. I haven't posted on Facebook since last year, and I posted about like how sad it is that Sports Illustrated's gone, and a couple other things have happened. It's like, man, this kind of sucks. I mean, like, what happened here?
Yep.
Oh well, end of the quarter.
Rex.
Bring in
Fez.
Tell him I said hello.
Those contests.
Tell him I said
hello. I will.
Congratulations to him. Be good. Take care of yourself. Anything else from me?
Well, I just appreciate you joining, man.
I will see you, I guess, in next August if you're not here before that. If
I will be there before that, but it's going to be a trip with the wife first, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the rounds.
How much rope you'll have to have? How much
exactly.
Rope give you? Sure. Keep me posted if you're able to get out for a night.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rex.
Care.
Thanks for joining.
Be well. See you guys.
Rex Byers, everyone. All right, we're waiting on Fez here for the second quarter. Very interesting first quarter there. Again, like I guess a lot of what you would expect out of these offenses, nothing downfield, but everything working underneath.
I was gonna say it feels like this has been a quick quarter. Holy smokes,
that flew by. That flew by.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of how many incompletions were there in that quarter? There's 3 incompletions in that quarter. We had the Bills ran the ball 5 times with Cook, 2 times with Johnson, 4 times with Allen, Diggs. So, that's 12 right there. It flew.
Yeah.
It flew.
All I could think about when I saw that those monitors, I was like, which one would I use for the other kind of entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
Got the games going on. Which one would be for? Anyways. Maybe I'm going to be joining that bonk tier list you got going, or that bonk bracket you got going on there.
Yeah, I think you might be a pretty high seed.
I also
be a pretty high seed.
Well, I was underseeded in the trivia contest, so maybe I'll get my respect in this one. I don't know. Do I want respect in this one? Anyways, what was the Billy Walters power outage? Is that like, I've never heard of that before. Is it embarrassing that I don't know what that is?
No, it's not. I mean, have you read the most recent book at all?
No.
I don't want to get sued for giving away information that's only obtainable in the book.
I mean, you could just download, like, I can go to the bookstore and like rent it if I wanted to.
That's it, man.
Okay, fair. So I was gonna grab it, but I saw it like the first 80 pages should have been about 40 pages, and apparently it's not good. So,
it wasn't. I mean, in my opinion, it wasn't the best read.
Yeah,
I expected a little bit more. I thought it would be a little bit more interesting than it was, as the Bills are going to get here inside the well, not quite inside the 10-yard line yet, but first down, KC 12 here to open up the second quarter. We're going to be joined momentarily by Steve Fezzik, but this will be interesting from a pure props perspective if the Bills are able to get into the end zone or whatever live betting perspective as to what this number will become. You need Audible to get through that book. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to disrespect the guy. He did a lot in the betting space. It's just that wow, what a run that was.
I just need to jump in here. Drew Furstenberger, it's rent a book. It's a library. What is that? Is that how else would you describe using a library? Yeah, is that not?
Yeah, I guess.
Is that not how you describe it?
Man,
Take out a book? I don't know.
I went to a library for the first time in like ages.
Mm-hmm.
These are not like the libraries I grew up on as a kid.
Oh no,
they have like a music studio in there. There are DVDs and what. I was like, what the hell is going on in here?
The one near me is tiny.
It's just like a party room. It's not even a library. Barely any books. Oh, Josh Allen, Russian Tutter.
There we go.
All right. As good a time as ever to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, so we can take a look at some live markets after this Bills touchdown. Steve Fezzik joining us here on Forward Project. I mean, we have Steve Fezzik's on yeah, there you go.
What's going on?
We got a good view of your bookshelf there to start, Steve. Any interesting stuff there?
How are you? I put the camera to the side, when I'm betting, interesting live. What do you think? Bills probably -5 now?
Yeah, 4.5 was what I was going to say. 4.5 was what I was going to say.
I mean, certainly an impressive start for them, but it's always difficult to do evaluations when you've got a team through the 3. I mean, it's worth obviously 40 cents to go from 2.5 to 3.5. So you can't just like quantify it and say normally a touchdown is worth like 3.5 points to the line, but it's all 3.5 points are not created equal. Yes.
Did you have anything on this game pregame?
Oh, hell yeah. Zillions. I mean, yeah.
Sorry. Let me rephrase. Main market side and total.
I made the game 2.5. I bet my balls off on Kansas City +3. I bet triple what I normally bet because I knew the name. I knew that the bet was ridiculously good. Then ESPN bet juiced Kansas City to +150. So I've already made my max bet, and I made more of my max bet. So obviously then I got to start scalping, and then I came back and laid Buffalo -138 for a ton, and then it dropped to -135. So I bet even more. So I'm not even sure what filled at the very end here. So I know I still have a Kansas City position, but if you asked me what the exact amounts are, and literally I have this conversation all the time with people, and they're like, "Oh, I won $88.54 on this game." And it's like I have no idea how a game turns out. I mean, I go back and this is documented in the book, The Odds. Alan Boston's like going through his books, and he's like, "Oh, here's a slip for 3,000. I forgot about that one." I should be more organized, but I don't think you should be anal about your positions also.
Well, you could take a page out of George Riley Panagakis's book, literally a notebook, and just document your positions on pen and paper, Steve.
I'm going to say, I don't understand what Spanky's doing. I mean, George is a nice enough guy. Obviously, he's a power rating. He's smarter than the average bear, and he's not a sharp bettor. And so what are you doing? I mean, if you want to have, what was that show, Laverne and Shirley? If you want to have the big ragu on, you know, Carmine, he's entertaining on your podcast, go right ahead. But just have him dance. Don't have him like pretend to be a sports betting expert, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, listen, it depends on your interview style, right? I'm kind of with you on that. I would tell Spanky straight up to his face the exact same thing, but I think like you can at least interject at some point. I don't know. It's a tough situation. Let's say it's a tough situation. He knew what he was getting into when he booked GRP as a guest as well. I've had GRP on here on a live watch along before. He's a good dude, but if I disagree with him on something, I'm going to just straight up tell him I disagree with him rather than just let him, you know, keep going down that path and telling that story.
Probably, I'm going to be all over the place. Probably a square bet. I laid 5, laid 15 on Buffalo. I was like, you know, it's not so much that they're up 7 mathematically. It's just that they look so impressive on both their first 2 drives. Although a big part of my handicap was that the Buffalo defense is injured, and I don't think they can stop Kansas City. I know Kansas City has no receivers other than Kelsey, but they've got a quarterback, and that should be enough with an angry Pacheco. What's the weather? I haven't paid enough attention. What's the wind? What's the weather looking like?
So it's pretty windy, but there's a crosswind right now. So if you've looked at the first 2 field goals kind of blew out towards one side of the field goal pole. Yeah, it's top of the field goal poles are just blowing cross. Hasn't looked like it's affected the throwing game, but we haven't seen downfield throws in this game yet. Everything's been underneath for both.
So obviously crosswinds are good for unders because they disrupt field goals and they make it hard for both teams to move the ball big time. Whereas tailwinds, headwinds, I guess the extreme example would be if you had a hurricane, 120-mile-an-hour tailwind, it'd be a very high-scoring game probably because whoever had the wind would score every time. And the other
those tailwind games or those headwind tailwind games are actually live betting dreams because they happen infrequently where it's like extreme winds one way or another. But when they do happen, from my experience, the algorithm, so to speak, the live betting that's made doesn't really account for the direction of the wind. The most notable one was Buffalo, New England several years ago, right? But just based off the quarter of the game, you could live bet at a price, assuming that the wind was neutral. And, you would be getting a certain team every quarter that's just thrown into a hurricane. Good luck with that.
And the extreme example is like the Rutgers is playing, some god-awful team. And Rutgers is like, anyone looking at the box score is like, oh, they're getting completely dominated. So, yeah, because they're going into a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and then you bet the end of the first half line, and you get that. The tricky part, I got to ask you this. I don't even know. Do teams, are they smart enough to take the wind for the fourth quarter? I don't think they are.
They are.
So,
yeah,
so that'd be an example where you have to have a leap of faith that you're not going to get like a Ron Rivera. I have no idea what I'm doing and make the wrong decision because you assume your team, you assume then that the team's going to take the ball that didn't win the coin toss. They're going to take the wind in the fourth quarter, but you can't be certain until you actually see it. And frankly, there's so many. This is what's great when there's like dozens of games going on at once, because then you're going to pick the book off clean as long as you've got a live bet, enough books dealing it. Whereas if it's an island game, at least the bookmakers, will have some clue and get it right, but probably not. Frankly, it's not their money. What do they care?
Exactly. Are you coming off a bout of laryngitis? Is this real?
Oh, I feel great. I couldn't talk at all last week, so I'm much better.
I've been nursing like this. I'm going through like these cough drops, like they're going out of style lately. I'm drinking teas while I do the show. I need to get away from the cold. What's the weather in Vegas like right now?
Oh, it's warmed up to the 50s. It was in the high 30s, so it was miserable.
Yeah,
for a while. But enough about that. Let's just talk betting. You know what I was going to say? I have a constructive criticism. I'm all for talking about pizza. I'm all for talking about Lily and how cute she is on the AT&T commercials. But like the game's going, I'm hardcore. So we got Detroit, San Francisco, and I don't understand this total. So you don't have to buy my premium 3-star release because I gave out Detroit, San Fran under 51.5. I bet under 52 myself. What about Jared Goff? Are we confident enough, or Purdy, that we can hang a 52? I did it sight unseen. If the weather's perfect, I still like under, and if the weather's bad, it's a great bet.
Okay, well let me get it up. I'll get this number going in real time here for myself as well, and I'll let you know if I'm going to agree on that.
Because I was thinking 49.5 seems perfectly reasonable to me if the weather's decent. And, the Detroit has had a tendency, not that they're going to have the lead, to run the ball if they do get the lead. But I don't think the 49ers trust Purdy anymore. Remember, what was the quarterback that they didn't trust him at all at the end of the half? I forget.
Jimmy G?
Yeah, it was
Alex
Jimmy
Smith.
G.
Yeah,
So the same thing happened with Purdy at the end of the first half, 7-6. It's like, nope, we're not going to. There's no chance we can get a touchdown. We're just going to milk the clock out and have our shitty kicker try a long field goal. Yes,
exactly. That was it. I was doing the live stream last night, and that's kind of the exact point that I made in real time. There is they just don't trust the guy to move the ball. Going into this week, I would have made the total in that game 50.2. However, big completion there for the Chiefs. 50.2. I haven't updated using the data from Detroit's game today, so I don't know what that's going to look like. And I haven't done there's a little bit of a manual process where I kind of have to get into the head of each offensive coordinator in terms of how I think they're going to game plan. But Deebo Samuel might miss the game as well for San Fran, which would be a pretty massive loss.
Yeah, because they gain 10 yards per play with him and 2 yards per play without him. So it's kind of important. Okay. I will say I'm gonna come across opinionated, obviously, but I don't like to do the homework, study for the exam, and then take the exam approach. I hate it. In fact, it's all wrong. If anyone who's doing that, and this is what most people do, you're just not doing it right. If you really want to win at sports, it's like if the bookmaker can get a number up, well, then you can get a number up. And you're supposed to be smarter than the bookmaker. So when he puts 52.5 up on that game, you got to be betting it. You got to be ready. It's one damn game. You got to be ready.
I agree. I agree with you for probably 98% of the population. I'm not going to say what the fill size I need is for NFL, but I work with a larger group of people and we need X amount of dollars. It's unattainable for us to get that amount of money off the opening number.
Aaron Renning said the same thing to me, but I vehemently disagree because 52 is not going to hold. What difference does it make that you bet 52 and you say, oh, I tipped my hand, so have a beer, bet it for you. But it doesn't matter. 52 is going to be gone. So if you want to bet your 100,000 under 50.5 and you're saying, oh, it's de minimis, I guess, to play the 53, but I don't understand. Why would it be de minimis? It all spends. It's not going to kill the marketplace.
Yeah, but it's also going to kill my ability to bet into a lot of those accounts going forwards.
Oh, well, that's different. But so avoid those accounts. Bet the accounts again. Circa doesn't care. Circa's never going to limit you.
Yeah, I agree, but that's not going to come close to filling our bet size early in the week. If I do Circa, Pinnacle, Chris early in the week, it's not even putting a dent into what I need to.
So to use an example, I understand, but if you have a baseball game that you make minus 140 and it opens minus 110, and every B team player is going to play Texas minus 110.
Yep.
Why just I'll just go to sleep. I don't want to pick up free money lying on the ground, and I'll just bet my 100,000 minus 125. And I'd be like, well, why not just bet your 10,000 minus $1.10 and your 90,000 minus 125?
Okay, so to me it comes down to I've done this before. So we went through a couple seasons. Basically, you can calculate the EV on any bet, right? Your bet size, closing line value, and for me, we're better off just waiting. There's a sweet spot for us that's not openers or necessarily Monday, but it's after that where we maximize our EV. To me, it matters.
Well, wait a minute, but you're not answering my question.
Yeah.
How is it compromising your EV for what you're going to bet later by betting something that you know is going to move anyways?
How is it compromising your EV? Well, first of all, I'm giving away information on the position that I'm going to like in the week, which is valuable. Even though
I don't know if you are. If you bet a baseball game minus 110 and it goes to minus 125, have you given away anything? You just said you like minus 110, but if you know everyone's going to like minus 110, you've given away nothing, in my opinion.
That's valid. I have to think more about this. There's a real. No. I actually don't care. I personally enjoy these conversations, generally speaking, because as a bettor, you're always you should be at least always trying to refine and improve your methods. At the end of the day, I guess there's probably an argument to be made that I should pick off every price that I think is a bad price, generally speaking.
I'll use an example. Like the Hitman raised his yearly best bet record, I believe. What is he, 1-19? Something like that.
He got his third win today.
By the way, Hitman has made more money betting sports than anybody that I personally know this year. So don't think it's reflective necessarily on his betting acumen. But he gave out Green Bay because he knew Green Bay would get the ball, more than likely. And he gave him out +3. I think it was like minus $1.15. Doesn't matter. But that would be an example where, so it opens up, and there's a few places that actually open +3.5 late 20. All right. I'll use one place at +3 even money. The Fontainebleau, my least favorite casino of all time. So because of that, I actually drove to Fontainebleau and bet it there because you know what? I mean, I bet it for $1,000. I won $900. Why wouldn't I? There's $900 lying on the ground at the Fontainebleau. Okay, it's not $900. There's $150 in expectation lying on the ground. Why not go pick it up if my choice is to go pick up barbecue for the family or to go pick up my $150 lying on the ground at Fontainebleau, which won't move the market 1 cent in the world.
The biggest thing for us, no, I know what you're saying. I understand it, but okay. So like the early outs for me, I guess there's a lot of times where I end up with a play that I don't want to give away too much information here. Your point is very valid. Let's put it that way. Your point is very valid. Here's like a lot of times you might disagree with me on this, and you might think it's like counterintuitive to the whole process of betting. But I'll be doing shows sometimes on Sunday night where Pinnacle opens the numbers for the next week, and I will explicitly say this number is going to move down. However, I do not like the under in this game. I would rather the under. So like it. I guess technically that's still a valuable bet regardless, because you can do something with that number earlier in the week or so on and so forth. Or like specifically this number is wrong, but X, Y, and Z is going to play this team regardless. Like Texans first half of the year, first 10 games of the year.
I guess really the question comes down, will it move enough for it to be a profitable middle? If you're confident that it is, I still think you should bet it, even though you hate it. So let's say extreme example that you knew that that Purdy was out, for instance. All right, but the news wasn't going to leak until Saturday. All right, and so the number got opened up at and you could bet San Fran -5. That's a great example. Yep. I would still bet San Fran -5.
Yes.
Why not? Because I can just scoop up more +7 and just go ahead and earn off of it initially.
Yeah, no, the new stuff is very different because that's going to move enough, especially starting QB. Like, and honestly, you don't even have to know that someone is out. You just have to believe that the market is going to price that person as being out. Like Justin Herbert last year against Jacksonville, right? Week 3 of the season where he ended up playing with the rib injury, but it started to leak everywhere that Justin Herbert's probably going to sit out this week. The whole market moved from like 7.5 to like a pick 'em in that game or below 3 at least. And like, yeah, you don't even need to know that he's out. You just need to know that that's going to move that way because people think he's out. It's definitely a valid talking point. I agree with you in the sense that I preach this all the time, right? Especially if your goal in betting is to win, and we know that the best indicator of winning is generally speaking beating the closing line, then yeah, everyone should be betting as early as possible. It just gets to a point where you're looking to scale, and I think it's counterintuitive in some cases to bet early.
It's interesting because I find most of the people, and you're not alone. Like I said, Aaron Renning's a brilliant bettor, and he said the same thing to me. I think it's more comfort level that people they get into their comfort level, and it's like, I don't want to screw around all the accounting and running out. I got to do my work, and I got to get it all right. And by the time it's almost like there's a conveyor belt of 20s going past me. But I can forge hundreds over here. Let me just work on my hundreds, and I just don't have time to pick up the 20s. Would be a good way, but I'd almost say, well, hire somebody to pick up the 20s for you then, but the late great Dave Malinsky, I remember he was wildly offended one time because he said, I cannot bet an overhead. I can't bet a weekly early line. Now remember, this is like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So Westgate would put them out, maybe one other book, and other books wouldn't. And he says, well, I can't go in and bet. I can only get 3 dimes. My group needs to bet a lot more than that. I can't give away who I like. And I told him, Dave, no one gives a rat's whatever that an old guy in Vegas is going in and betting 3,000 on a weekly line. And I made the case, if it really had that influence on the market, then you should go bet the opposite side, like on Saturday. No one does that. So if they can't try to trick the market, probably they're not going to go ahead and compromise the market.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you, like, if you do feel like you've got some hot accounts, and this certainly happens, that as soon as you bet, that they go and bet it themselves, or someone there communicates to someone else and you just see it run wildly, you got to give a few head fakes to stop that.
Well, of course. I mean, that's just part of the game. But, listen, I'm Ontario-based bettor. I have access to tons of legal books, which is great. But betting that early in the week into some of these books, which are candidly a gold mine, would just kill my ability to bet there. And I would rather, keep the part of what I do, and like part of my strategy in betting in a lot of these books is to do a lot of same game parlays as well. And typically speaking, if I'm going to bet a side in the NFL early in the week, there's nothing else to really parlay it with at that point. So I mean, it's just I'm gonna be open-minded and give it a little bit more thought and go back to the, run some more calculations. But we do typically do this every year, and we try to find the optimal point for betting for ourselves. On top of that, and
the beauty also is that every now and then someone head fakes a game that you're on top of, and you see it. I'll give an example. So Northwestern was playing Nebraska. It was a terrible spot. Right. So some guy said I was a total jerk because I gave out Nebraska is my Big Ten game of the month, and the line was 2.8, and we really like Nebraska, and it dropped to 1.5. And I just said, that's bullshit. That's just somebody phoning up the market. It's a great spot for Nebraska. We just took out the 1.5s. Screw it. We're still going to bet 2.5. Why not pick up the free money, the -1.5? And then, I gave it out right as I was betting -1.5. And people were like, oh, you left it up. You kept selling it -2.5. And it even went to -3. And I'm like, yeah, but we liked it -3 initially. So that was an example. It was just a matter of time. Someone was going to come in and move on that game. Why not us? To grab the the very best of the number. Ooh, zing. Josh Allen going deep, broken up.
Yeah.
Tide may have turned. So Casey gets the ball to start the second half. Correct. Down 4, they get a stop, and all of a sudden this game is
big third down here, Steve. This is the huge play right here. This third.
Yeah, we go right back to this is interesting, counterintuitive. Casey gets a stop, and you bet KC, you're winning right now.
Yes.
Despite them being down 4 on the scoreboard.
Exactly.
Ooh, look at this, Rob. So money on Detroit. The 7s aren't holding. It's leaking to like 6.75. Detroit, San Francisco. We talked about. We like the under 51. By the way, there's a 51.5 still at station casinos. How is that still there? Someone bet that right now. That's like insanely good. But I wonder what do we hear about? Is this Debo? Is that's causing this to because 7 was the right number if Debo's playing.
I think so. Based off of like the way that the market has priced these teams, yeah, 7 would probably have been that. I think people have lost a little bit of faith in the 49ers, generally speaking, offensively. Personally, I actually do think that there's something to quarterbacks that I don't want to say buckle under the pressure in the playoffs, but they just don't play up to their typical caliber, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I think this is like a what have we seen lately on the early move, and oh wow, this is a late hit.
There's nothing wrong though with how Purdy's played in the playoffs. He played a bad game in the rain. He looked great right in his playoff game last year before he tore his labrum or whatever, right?
Well, he played Dallas, and he didn't look great. The 49ers defense won them that game.
It's true.
There's legit concerns there. I think you're big on this too, but like teams, offenses that are playing like outside of their comfort zone. I remember late in the year there was Atlanta, Chicago, and I heard you mention something about how Atlanta, this indoor team, is now going out into Chicago outdoors and like the Lions are a dome team, right? Like they are that now. This isn't like going out to to 20-degree weather or anything in San Fran, but it's a little bit different. It's not the fast track that they're used to playing on for the Lions offense. I think that total in the 50s is too high. Your number, I think, is solid based off of how I see this game playing out in my head.
How is 51.5 holding at stations? Have they just barred everybody? Pretty much, so this is going on more and more. And I got to ask you, you say you've got all these regulated books in Ontario. All the Canadians I'm talking to say, I can't bet. I got $20 limits everywhere. So how are you getting down to all these massive amounts? Like you said, you're masking it with parlays. You have to be.
It's
right?
not only that, Steve. Like, okay, so luckily we have Pinnacle in Canada. That's great. So that's always an option for me. I'm not a top-down bettor. I'm a bottom-up bettor. So like a book like Pinnacle for me is great a lot of times because they take good limits. And if you think you can beat the price, you can beat the price. The rest of these guys, and I don't mean to lump everyone in, and like no disrespect, everyone bets their own way. But they find a fresh new account at like some little rinky-dink shitty sports book, and they go in and they bet 5 props that are all way off market as their first 5 bets. They use their bonus in like the most effective way possible, playing like you're just giving the book all the information they need. Here's what I do. When I open up a new account, I tell one of my friends I have a group of like 10 close friends who are all square recreational bettors. I say, we're going to treat this like it's your account. I'm going to make all the bets because it's, me opening the account. I'm not going to give it out to someone else, but you send me bets that you want to place and I'll put you on a free roll. If we win, you keep 20% of the winnings. If we lose, it's on me. And I do this for a month. Every single time I start an account, and all the action that's going in there is recreational action for a month. And that allows me to play into that account much, much longer.
It's really smart. My buddy Pastrami is always on me, burning out accounts as soon as we get them. Instead of establishing, it's almost like if you play blackjack at a new casino that opens up, you should just go in there and flat bet and make a few mistakes the first month you play there. So there's a trust factor there. By the way, I just put in a buy order. I'm never going to get it. Kansas City was +3 at a couple places. That's a great bet, as we discussed, because of the dynamics of only down 4 and they get the ball to start the second half. So I know that wasn't widely available, but that was at least one book here on the screen.
Your buddy Pastrami, people are having a good laugh over this right now. Okay, like just in general, Steve, like, and for everyone that's in here watching right now, this is my general advice to you. But like, when you bet with a book, every single bet you make is some piece of information you're giving to the book as a data point where they can profile you in one way or another. Do things, generally speaking, that make you look like an idiot. That's all. Like it's just common sense. Don't get all super horny when you develop I'm going to kill this sports book. They have so many edges here, and you go in and you just start beating them up on all these bad prices. It's never going to last. It's never going to last.
But remember, your advice is great for the 2% of the population that win betting sports. So if you're listening and you're not up and you're not winning, well, you don't need any cover. You just it's like a poker player that sucks. You just need to learn how to play poker. Exactly. Then you can worry about like all this. Don't worry about camouflage, and don't worry. Oh, angry run by Kansas City. Oof. Don't worry about all that stuff. It's unnecessary until one of the reasons, or one of the ways you can tell you've kind of made it. It's like you literally once a week you should have this is just a stupid Dumbo number that like it's just so good and it's obvious it's got to move. Example last week, Green Bay first quarter +3 even money and +105. I mean, I bet Green Bay takes the ball. I mean, obviously that's a really good bet.
Green Bay to score first. Sharp Clark was on with me last night and he parlayed Green Bay to score first with San Fran -4.5 second half prior to the game as well. Like there's all sorts of implications of just knowing that one thing that is different than the expectation. And you could go so many ways with that. I love that. Yeah. I actually really liked Hitman's bet this week because it's like a very fresh way of thinking where you don't even need to be able to handicap the game. You just need to be able to apply common sense.
Oftentimes finding one factor is more important. Like you look at these people, and I know you're talking to Rex about like all these injury reports and everything else. And you can spend hundreds of hours analyzing all of this stuff. I'm 8 seconds behind. Boy, my goodness,
spoiled it.
That's
wide open, blown coverage right there.
Well, why would they anticipate they'd throw to like a Kelsey? I mean, that's such a shock.
Why would they? With Taylor Swift in attendance as well, going nuts right now in her suite there.
Well, I won't go there. The bottom line here is that I hear about like bet sizing. I'm as you know, I'm very opinionated, but I go back. I back it up. I say you got 100 geeks from the University of Chicago that bet sports for a living, and you ask them, is what I'm saying correct? You know, I'm not. It's not like 4 out of 5 dentists are going to agree with me. 98 out of 100 are going to agree with me. Like certain things, like flat betting versus betting different amounts. Of course, flat betting is good if you're a recreational gambler because you should be betting 0. That's an excellent flat bet amount. But if you're a serious bettor, you're just going to see bets that are just like you're going to know, for instance, there's a time where like the star player is out for a college basketball team. Where is out for Indiana? And you get wind of it against Wisconsin, and you can bet whiskey minus 10.5, and it closes 12. And then they win by 12. Of course, I like to use examples of games that land on numbers, but that's just an extreme example. And the hard part is, it's so much harder. We talk about like tout services. I know you guys don't like them. It's hard to win as a tout service, but you know what? It's even harder to win when you're a tout guy that bets. Yeah. Because if I didn't bet, my God, I could have just I used that game. I could have just smashed out Indiana, Wisconsin minus the 10.5, and just given that out. But I got to get down first, and then all of a sudden, I didn't give it out to my clients because the line got compromised. And by the time I was done with it, it was at 12 and 12.5.
Yeah, I hear you. Levi in the chat says, bet the pre-made parlays. This is another great example of, yes, like they're putting out their horrible EV. You don't have to bet exclusively those, but if you're, anyways, account longevity is very important nowadays. Now, there's the best of the best that I don't have to care about that because they just have access to infinite liquidity. And that's great. But yeah, do stuff
I want to ask you a bold prediction. Betting exchanges kill the bookie stars. Betting exchanges kill the bookie stars. Why is anybody? I mean, I understand it's complicated, so don't put up offers. But these exchanges are going to get big enough, especially island games like this, Super Bowl, NFC, AFC title games. You see these exchanges, and there's offers up minus 101 in each direction. And I tweeted about this, and I said, you know what? You're just being naive. If you think I know Detroit was the right side, whatever. So if you think Detroit minus 6 lay $1.10 or Tampa plus 6.5 lay $1.10 was the right side, when you can lay minus 101 on those, I mean, now you could say, well, just because it's available doesn't mean that the number isn't wildly off, but it probably isn't wildly off because if it was wildly off, there probably would be some like MIT, University of Chicago graduate geeks that would be cranking away betting enough that it wasn't minus 101 anymore.
What's the question here?
Why aren't betting exchanges becoming wildly popular, and why aren't they taking over the market?
Because they're first and foremost for a recreational bettor, they're very confusing. The layouts on a lot of these, I'm not going to name names, but I've used several exchanges, and it's not anywhere close to traditional betting in terms of, so there's got to be something figured out that's able where it's a little bit easier to facilitate these bets. Some of these exchanges are actually like over the top crazy in terms that like I know actual pro bettors that don't want to use it because it's too complex. So I think that there's like a regular sports book, you deposit, especially if you have some sort of history in sports betting, it's very natural to you like of how to place wagers. So that's the first one. The second one is that like there's generally a lot of bad experiences with exchanges where like you post a bet, it doesn't, or like you're looking for a certain bet, it doesn't get filled. Like that's just not an issue when you're betting with and a lot of people will sacrifice. The real answer, Steve, like the top of the list is the vast majority of people don't give a shit about price. The price sensitivity is not there. It will take many years of people losing right now. Unfortunately, and it's sad to say this, people who think that they're God's gift to the earth in terms of betting, and they'll eventually figure out that they don't know shit. But right now, they don't care. Everyone thinks they can beat minus 110. They have a winning NFL season and they think that this is going to last forever. People don't care about price.
And it's not that they don't know shit. They probably know a great deal. It's just that the market is not, you know what? 2 years ago, I was like so stupid. And 2 years from now, I'm going to look back on today and I'm going to say, I was so stupid. I mean, my learning curve has just flown through the roof in terms of stuff and people I'm working with, stuff that I'm doing. And I've become, I didn't think the market was efficient. I stand by that back in 2006, 2010. All the time I would say, this NFL line's going to move, this line's going to move, this is wrong. Right. And now it's so rare. Oh, now on a Sunday night, I can tell you that Detroit San Fran 51 total. Hey, somebody finally got over at station and bet that. Good job. I could say and I could be wrong. The weather could be absolutely perfect. Debo could play, and the word could come out that Campbell's going to run, a no huddle offense. Okay, then it's going to close 51.5. But it's like everything would have to go wrong. But by midweek, I could forecast line moves with great predictive ability, and now I've given up. It's like, I don't know which side they're going to bet these games. It's like, and if you use my power ratings, so often it basically matches up. I love the Hitman because the Hitman's like the first guy I think that kind of has come out and said, look, this study all week, calculate all your numbers, come up with the differences of the teams is all bullshit. And the truth is it's much more information driven. It's like, as soon as it's Gordon Gekko, Wall Street, as soon as you get the information that a guy is playing or out or the weather has changed, you fire on it and you beat everybody to the market and you win. I can't tell you how many times on your podcast that you have midweek, the Hitman comes on and he submits a play, and literally the half an hour before you go on air, the Bears go from 3.5 to 3, and I swear to God, they lose every game by 3. So he loses all these games that he can't give them out, even though he wins in his own betting.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously doing a show midweek is not conducive to getting like the best closing line value. We have somehow managed to do that this year, but your point is, well taken. I listen, there's many ways to win at betting. And I believe this. I think the way that Hitman bets is like, I don't mean to say easy, but it's like, yeah, it's logical that he take that approach. This is not priced into this market right now. I'm going to bet it very quickly before it becomes priced into this market. I do, though, believe that there's going to be a subset of the population that is always just better at pricing games than everyone else. Like, to me, if people are using general market ratings to price their games, this is my opinion, I love that. I love that people would be like, oh, yeah, these teams closed here and here and here. This should be the price for next game or whatever. That's like music to my ears. I think I'm very good at pricing NFL games, not to the level of I can't beat Sunday NFL. I'm very cognizant of that. But you give me Wednesday, Thursday at bigger limits, just looking at early practice reports and stuff like that, I think I can come up with a better, and I've proven that over the years. That's where my success comes. Not everyone can do that. But
and one thing you said you have to be careful on. You said over the years. Now this is controversial because like you got a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year record of mutual funds, and obviously the 10-year record is the most significant. I'm going to come over the top and say it's not in sports betting. I don't care that you won 8 years ago. Don't care. Yeah, totally different ball game. I got roundly, literally ridiculed when I said, I think Right Angle Sports is like one of the greatest services out there. They're tremendous. They work super hard, and they truly are elite. And they'd hit like historically 56% of their college basketball plays. And I said, they're not going to hit 55% going forward. Right. And everybody just ripped me a new one. Like I was jealous of how great they are and everything else. And it's like, they are great. They're awesome at what they do. It's not 2004. They probably ran good. They probably did some really good work. They probably had some angles that got discovered by some others. And I said, they'll probably hit like 53.5%, 54% going forward. Well, they hit like 50% this year. So, I mean, obviously they probably got unlucky and they probably had a few leaks, but I mean, I'd still be confident that they would win, going forward. But the problem is you get too big, and the one thing about the Raz stuff that it's like I'm fighting with Edward over it, not Edward, but like the Raz people, where I say, well, I said the vast majority of people aren't getting their numbers, and they're like, oh no, everyone's getting our numbers, and I'm like, but they're giving out 133 and it's closing 136. So is every sports book in the world going from 133 to 136 instantaneously based upon every subscriber getting it. I just don't believe it. I mean, I think like the people are so lazy. It wouldn't surprise me. There's probably lots of people out there that just get Raz's emails. All right. Okay. Here's the plays. I'll just bet them.
Yeah.
Please God win.
I know it happens, Steve. I mean, I ran Prediction Machine for 1 year. Just a great play by Josh Allen, by the way. Like his ability to improvise here gets.
What's his rush yards right now?
Josh Allen is at 26 rush yards at the moment.
You know, it's probably as leveraged as the game is. I don't like betting anybody that doesn't get the ball to start the second half, but I think his pre-flop was 43. You got to feel he's only going to run more in the second half, right?
Yeah, he closed 44.5 pretty much across the board, Josh Allen. Like 90% of books closed to 44.5 there. I would think so, yes. I think as the game becomes a little bit tighter, it's on the line. I mean, I'm very much going to lose this James Cook under. I did lose it already. He's got 3 in the first half. But one thing I really noticed about Allen over the years, especially in the playoffs, or let's say games that are a little bit more important, he tends to take off with the ball more than check down. In the regular season, he'll check down to running backs like crazy, doesn't run as much. As soon as the game is on the line and he has a decision to make, I think his first instinct is I'm going to run with the ball. We've just happened to see him throw a lot to running backs here.
It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Also optimally, because if you keep doing that, you're going to get concussed or hurt. So the second half plays are more important than the first half. And also you want to get everyone involved in the first half. It's almost like an NBA star, LeBron taking command late in the game. There he goes. Right? Yeah. Running on. By the way, the clock broke beautifully for Buffalo and that Kansas City doesn't get a 2-for-0 here at the end of the first half. But as far as if I was a quarterback, I would never run like on 2nd and 3 ever, ever, unless I could just trot out of bounds. Whereas the 3rd and 6, where you can move the sticks, is so much more valuable. Rob, what do you think? If you got a 2nd and 1, should the defense jump off sides intentionally? If it's a high total game?
Depends on the situation, but I think I actually do think that like 10 years from now, teams will be doing that.
And I wonder if then, of course, the team can decline it, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we're going to get to a point where teams will start to do that. The opposing coach won't realize what's going on and have no clue and accept it. And then after a while, when this starts happening more and more, you'll start to see the team decline and get a little bit smarter about it. Yes.
Endgame, San Francisco. Should C-Mac have scored with a minute to play to bring him up 3, or should he have stopped on the 2-inch line?
How much time left?
1 minute. Don't have all the details. I think if it's first down, he should stop. And if it's second down, he should score. But I'm really not certain. I kind of lean towards stopping, but every now and then they get a penalty. The penalty is so much more prevalent from the 1-yard line.
I can't run this quickly in real time. I would have the data to run, how often teams score on 1st and goal from the 1. But I would suggest it's probably marginally better to score in that instance. It also depends on your defense behind you. It's a little bit different.
Unless the total's like a 54, I think you're right. I think it's, and especially with Purdy struggling, who knows what he might do. I have flashbacks to Ritter in Atlanta in the red zone, when it was getting in his head and he just kept dropping the ball on the ground. What's the question for you? What's the next horizon? What should I, as a sports bettor, what am I ignoring that I should be making lots of money betting going forward?
I haven't found the answer to that myself yet.
Because that's really the key to identify. I'm looking at a book. I was reading this, How to Make $100K a Year. This is by Mason Malmuth and by David Sklansky, 2 great authors, really smart guys. And they wrote a book in 2000 about winning at all different types of different ways to win. Got to catch that.
That would have been a walk-in touchdown right there by James Cook.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this book, and it shows how you got to be careful. These are 2 of the smartest guys out there, very well respected. This book is one of the most hideous, terrible sports betting books you will ever read. It talks about how parlay cards basically are not beatable, and teasers, 6-point, even money teasers, only those games only wins like 67% of the time each leg, so you should absolutely avoid them. They're sucker bets. So think about this. 2 of the smartest guys in the world had horrendously erroneous conclusions on 2 of the greatest advantage plays that were around 25 years ago. Right. So the obvious conclusion is there's got to be stuff whether it be, I'm anti same game parlay, but there's a whole lot of advantageous same game parlay bets to be made right now if you know what you're doing. But it's one of those things, if you don't know what you're doing, you should absolutely avoid them because the house is holding 10% on them.
That was a great catch right there. I think I didn't get a second view of that, but it looks like it didn't hit the ground. KC's using a timeout to like have him have another look at it or something like that.
I hate when the defense, and I didn't pay a lot of attention whether they were too conservative, but when there's 2 minutes left in the half, I just blitz everybody. I go balls to the wall. It's like, you know what? If you beat me deep, fine, because then I got God at quarterback and I can score back on you. But don't let a team dink and dunk you like this. Score at the end of the half. That's a disaster. So, and that's why, one thing teams mess up all the time is they have like a 4th and 1 from like the 20 at the end of a half.
Yeah. And
they kick a field goal, and it's like that the other team's just going to kick a field goal back on you. What are you doing? You have to go for it and try to get the last possession of the half, and yet no one. And I don't understand. Another question for you: billion-dollar companies, NFL, complete dummies. They let the NFL head coach who has 10,000 things on his plate.
Of course.
How is it that there's not the owner just doesn't say, "Look, I have an analytics guy. He's going to tell you it's a close call. Do whatever you want," or he's going to say, "You got to punt here," or "You got to go for it," and you're just going to do what he tells you to do. So it's one more thing off your plate. So Dan Campbell, you don't have to go for 2 from the 7. Thoughts?
I've been arguing for this forever. I've talked to Eric Eager about it, right? It's just something about like it's like belittling the coach almost, right? Like to me, this should be part of the interview process, right? If I'm hiring a brand new head coach, I'd probably sit him down with like 20 different pieces of game tape. This is a 2-minute drill. Tell me what you're doing in this situation. What mistake did this coach make? Did he make a mistake? Whatever, and run them through these exact scenarios.
I disagree because you're basically asking, it's like you're asking a CEO for a fast food company to be able to take orders at the drive-thru. He doesn't need to be able to do that. He just needs to be able to know that someone can do it for him.
But there are coaches that
can be able to do it.
There are coaches that can do it, though.
No,
there are coaches that can.
Even Belichick has slipped in recent years.
Belichick, I would like.
There's no coach that doesn't make egregious errors. There's too much going on. He's got too much on his plate. I don't know one that doesn't make horrendous errors.
Well, I mean, there's guys that are in communication with their booth, regularly speaking.
That's correct. There are coaches that almost always make the right call because their analytics people are telling them. That I agree with.
Right. So but that's all you would need is like if I was a head coach of an org, right? Even though I think I know what to do in certain situations, I'm also not dumb enough to put myself in this situation where I do not have help in those situations as well, right? So like to me, I think it just like comes down to ego. But like, Harbaugh and Sirianni, Harbaugh's lost it over the course of the years as well. I think he's been actually one of the worst decision makers. It's a little bit different for the Ravens because they have Justin Tucker, who's like near automatic field goal. It changes the percentages a little bit. But yeah, it's, having someone with me on the sideline, even though I know would be a no-brainer if I was the head coach of the org. So I'm sure we'll see that evolution over time as well.
By the way, I saw some of the worst blackjack players in the world this past weekend. So I have to pass this on to you. One casino, $500 bet, man split his 7s against a 9. And then I saw someone betting the other night 10,000 up and from 1,000. I'm sorry, from 500 up to 10,000 and same thing. Just stuff you wouldn't have split 3s against like a 10. And it's just like I really think if we're casino owners, we should be profiling the truly horrific people playing the bad slots, playing like that, and just literally, hey, you know what? We've dedicated a room. This is your room. You can stay here anytime. You got butler service. You got your own personal chef, whatever you need. And maybe they are to some extent.
If the Chiefs don't score here, there's 26 seconds left. They have 1 timeout. We have seen them score in these instances before.
What's the odds they score? %?
I'm not even sure that they're going to. It depends on what okay. I don't know.
I'll go 8%.
Score a field goal in this.
Now it's higher. 12%. What do you think? 12%.
I was gonna say 10%.
Yeah, we're in the same. And of course, the other team could score because they could turn it over. Are the The Chiefs are right to try to score, though, right? They're more likely to score than the Bills, right?
The Chiefs are more likely to score than the Bills.
Yep.
Andy Reid, whatever happens on the first play here will determine whether or not they're going to try to score or not.
Yes.
If they throw an incompletion here on the first play, they will run the ball on second and third down. Get the Bills.
Should they not come out in victory formation and pretend to do that and then execute a play? Would that not be the proper strategy?
Only works for the New Orleans Saints in the final week of the season against the Atlanta Falcons. Only works against the dummy coach. That's
interesting with the dummy coach, where they go ahead and do whatever they want and don't listen to the coach. That's the sort of thing that I can't. And there was no contract incentives. I just can't understand it. I can't understand why. Okay, well, Kansas City's definitely going to try to score now.
Exactly. So, they're out to the 36 here, so they're going to go for it.
So what do? We bump it to 18, 20% now, right? I mean, literally, I think it's that leveraged because now they know. Let's go for it.
Exactly.
I believe the hook and lateral is way underutilized in situations like this. I love the hook and lateral.
The play that the Bills used in the first quarter on that 3rd and 17, where Allen ran the ball and then threw it backwards across the field, that is a great play. I've seen the Bills pull that out a couple times this year, but I'm with you. You got to do some sort of stuff to keep the other team guessing. Now we're going to go to the half here.
Yeah, so KC's got to be -1 second half, right? We can't get off the 3 here, right?
Correct. So KC, small favorite second half. And if I had to guess at the total, I would guess 24.
1 second.
No,
24 is too high. 23.5.
Okay, in that range, yes.
Yeah, I think they're going to cut in line to play under 24, but 23.5 sounds like a really good number to me.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing as far as changing of the guards, we saw Tampa Bay's coach go for 2 down 8. So that means if Bowles is going for 2 down 8, bold prediction with 5 minutes or less next year and a team down 14, I think every single one in the NFL, now that Rivera's out of the NFL, will go for 2 going forward. Maybe with one rogue rookie coach, or maybe Campbell might screw it up. What do you think?
Well, Bowles got a lot better with his decision-making this year, like a lot better to the point where I actually think he might've worked with someone in the offseason on a lot of this stuff. Go for 2s. They did punt on a 4th and inches on their own side of the field in the first half today. But for the most part, they've been going for 4th and short on the other side of the field. Big time changes. I think, I'm trying to think off the top of my head of the coaches that aren't smart enough to do that anymore and whether there's any more that are still in the league. It's basically the old school guys, right? I think the Steelers scored a touchdown a couple weeks ago to cut it.
Tomlin might mess it up, yeah.
Which is so weird because Tomlin was the first guy, Steve, if you remember, to just start going for 2 after early touchdowns in the game. He had this progressive thinking. That was back in the Big Ben days, but now he's just.
So think how bad this is for Tomlin. This is how poor his math is. When you're on the 1 yard line, 4th and goal, if you take a knee, that's worth about a point, sticking the other team on their own 1. Yep. If you kick a field goal, it's worth 3. If you score a touchdown, it's worth 7. So easy math. If you make it on 4th and 1, 1/3 of the time, you're indifferent between the field goal and the touchdown conclusion. You obviously always go because you make it more than half the time. By the way, as we predicted, we opened 1 and we opened 23.5. So for the second half. So no value there.
Yeah.
So Tomlin will kick field goals all the time, 4th and goal from the 1. But we're basically saying, I'm not going to make this less than 1/3 of the time. But he'll go for 2 from the 2 when he has to make it over 50% of the time, even though he's a yard further back. And it's just I throw the entire organization under the bus. It's no one can explain to him how off is he a tyrant? Is he the king off with your head if you're an assistant coach trying to explain this to him?
I honestly don't know that the assistant coaches know, but someone in the org must know where they can go up and just beat gamer. Belichick will not go for 2 down 8 wherever he is next year. I agree with you. I don't think he's ever going to be that guy. He's just an old school. There's some guys that are so rooted in their ways. It's an old school style of thinking. And it's anything progressive. No. This is not the way football is meant.
Now, to be fair, if you're the far superior team and you're a 10-point favorite, clearly you don't go for 2 down 8 because you're going to win in overtime, 62% of the time or whatever it is, so it's fine to just kick the extra point twice. The problem is sometimes you miss when you kick the damn extra point. So it depends a little bit on the weather, there. What's look ahead here. So Baltimore, easy lines to make. Baltimore should be laying like 3.2 against Kansas City or Buffalo. Probably Buffalo's slightly better. So yeah. Baltimore probably -3 against the Bills, -3.2 against the Chiefs.
I agree that that's what the line should be off of market consensus numbers. Like the look aheads on there was some big rec shops that posted look aheads on this, right? And they had Baltimore -3.5 to KC. It's not closing 3.5 unless there's some significant injuries. Yeah.
And here's the flaw. Here's what they do. This is what the bookmakers do wrong. They price based upon current power ratings, but Baltimore is in the clubhouse. We know their power rating. Whoever wins this Kansas City Buffalo game is going to get a bounce.
Stock up. Exactly.
Stock up. So the line will be 3. So it's a pretty easy number to make regardless of who they play. I think it's going to be 3. And you know what? I kind of think as long as KC or Buffalo looks impressive in the second half, if anything, I would say a little bit of money on them.
Yeah. Like it's going to be, I mean, think of the average person that's going to bet these games and not even like people that have money that can influence a line. It's going to be, I can get Mahomes at like +3.5, or I can get Josh Allen at plus, like those numbers are not going to exist. They're not. There's going to be too much appetite.
I might add also, I don't understand. Like, I know there's one guy that threw out a number that was like off by 4 points. That's like supposed to be sharp. And like, I don't understand why there's so much trouble out there. I mean, you just copy. I mean, I send my power ratings each and every week. I mean, I can tell you they're going to get the number right, within 1.5 points, 9 out of 10 times, and yet it seems like no one can even set a line. It kind of pisses me off sometimes too, where like there's a couple of these message forums and these people have no idea that they have no idea what they're doing. And like, they're like, you don't think give me a hypothetical, you can give me any 2 teams. I can't do it in college, obviously, but in the NFL, I mean, if you tell me week 9, Tampa Bay is hosting New Orleans, I can tell you that Tampa Bay is going to be -2.5. It's just not that hard.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just so inconsequential for some of these books that they don't care. Like I can tell
because it's so small, one bet, who cares?
They could get dinged by 20 bets out of the gate for whatever. And at the end of the day, it's going to represent such a minuscule part of their overall handle that they don't give a shit.
I mean, still go back to the lack of acumen of the bookmaker is shocking to me. That like there's this thought, like I always hear Vegas knows everything. Vegas knows nothing. Vegas doesn't have one. I'll use an example. This Detroit, San Francisco. How come every single person I talk to says, "Oh, the total open 52. That's stupid. It's too high." It's like there's not one pro that doesn't have that conclusion. And yet, if 4 books open 52. Oh, here comes the South Point. We're going to put up 52 also. We have 3 Hall of Fame bookmakers. You have 3 Hall of Fame administrators that know how to like not get you sued and to balance your books. But I mean, come on. It's like, I don't understand why I'm going to give credit though. Tony runs the book, Neville, at the Treasure Island, little small local book, low limits, does a great job. He deals his own lines. Line will be 7. He says, that's bullshit. I'm going to deal 6. It's not always right, but you know what? It is refreshing to see somebody out there have an opinion. And I know Circa, does that also. Now there's other books that they're so arrogant. Like literally a line can be out there for like a game of the year is like out at one book for like 4 months and it's pick them. And then they'll make Michigan State like a 7-point underdog. Like, you know what? Probably your numbers, if the number was that off at the other book, someone probably would have bet it. There's a little happy medium between that. But I'm always refreshed when somebody does deal, they basically say, wait, I'm going to take my numbers and bake them into my opening lines and not just be a follower, especially when someone says the market is 3, I make the game pick, but I'm going to open 3 because that's what's the market. I look at that. It's like, what am I, if I was a casino owner, I'd be like, what am I paying you for? I can just get a guy out of In-N-Out Burger and he can just copy the screen, right?
Of course. But the reality is, if there is someone that is able to price the game that well, they're probably not going to be on the book side of things.
That's interesting because I agree with you. It's because the book's compensation model is wrong, because if you actually bonus someone properly and you said, you know what, I'm really going to price how much value added you're bringing to the table, and I'm willing to take risk. And I know other books have done this. So Cantor did this, right? But the problem is that they had the wrong people in charge. They had the B team in charge, and they gave them the keys to the car, and they wrecked the car. Right. But if you actually gave someone who was really a gifted sports bettor and gave them a profit incentive to really make a ton of money with this line setting, he would watch it like a hawk. I'll give an example. Like the night before the Super Bowl, every pro bettor I know, staying up till 2 a.m, running around, making advantageous bets, making money. Bookmakers, we'll just go to dinner. We'll just go to a gourmet dinner. You know why? It's not our money. We worked our 8 hours and we're going to make the same. It's like the lack of dedication to me is shocking, because what could be more important than like going over all your prop liabilities and breaking news the night before the Super Bowl? You know what? You got all summer to go play golf when there's baseball, right?
Totally. I just see in the chat now, Hitman released Noah Gray over 16.5 receiving yards. That actually moved the entire market to 19.5. The power of Hitman right there with the halftime releases.
Nobody wins more than Hitman. Ignore his best bet record. That is, I will say this though. There's a survivorship bias. Be careful out there, because you see some guys and there's like 20 sharp guys out there, and then one guy out there and all the sharps are going to hit like 53%. But you're going to see, I'll just throw out random sharp guys. So there'll be a Cleve TA, I'll hit a 60%, and this, I'll get his name wrong, Vansgard, I'll hit a 62%. And you're like, if I bet these guys, I'm going to do great. Well, yeah, but there's other guys I'm not going to mention that hit below 50%, and they just kind of disappear. We poo-poo that. That doesn't count. The leans are doing great, but the best bets are doing lousy. And the bottom line is, you know what? When you're betting Noah Gray props, you can hit 60%. Of course. When you're betting, when you have to bet midweek on a Detroit-San Francisco game, it's just a lot harder.
Yes. Yeah, we just don't let Hitman give out the prop bets on the show. Honestly, just for listen, the Hammer is a content network, right? I'd obviously love to help every single person win, but the second that Hitman gives out a prop bet on that show, the entire market is nuked, gone forever. And there's going to be people that watch that video a day later, 2 days later, 3 days later, who are going to see that and be like, first of all, he's going to give a range, what it's good to. It's never going to be in range. And then what people are going to do is they're just going to go and bet it anyways. And
the Hitman is awesome. And I fight with him all the time, because he says, most of my clients get my numbers. And I'm like, Hitman, you're single and you're working nonstop. You have no idea what the real world is like.
He's a married man.
The wife is sending you to Weiss Deli because she has the flu, and I've got to pick up the pastrami. Oh, but the Hitman gave me a 2-minute advanced warning. So, of course, I can pull over at the side of the road and get every one of his releases, because, come on. It's like 85% of his people aren't going to be able to get his numbers. But, but he's honest. He's like, well, then if you can't get my numbers, don't buy my stuff. By the way, I do want to mention there's people pretending to be me. If I'm asking you for money directly from my website, that's not my website. Don't go there. That's someone pretending to be me.
You haven't made it until there's fake accounts of you, Steve. That's the important thing. Forget about the money you've made betting or whatever you've done in your life. You haven't truly made it until someone wants to impersonate you.
Well, and I go back, making money is no big deal. It's like people are like all the time. I know Johnny I gave Johnny a hard time, and I want to come back on your podcast with Johnny, but he's like, well, I kind of do think Fezzik wins. And it's like, he has no idea how offensive I find that. It's like telling a 1-3 poker player, well, I think he probably is able to turn a profit. It's like complete dummies win. The hard part is, of course, to win a lot of money. That's the hard part. And that goes back to what we were talking about. You don't want to bet a lot of these openers and tip your hand. And now you can win, but in the long run, you're going to make a whole lot less money if you compromise the market.
We will do another episode down the road. I think his point is more like, I will say I'm certain you win at betting on sports. I would bet.
But everybody wins. I really do. Is there any argument? You could be bad and win in betting sport. When I say bad, you can be a bad pro.
Yeah. Well, it's the people who message me on DM me on Twitter all the time. And they're like, oh, I'm just trying to decide whether to give my accounts to this person or to give them to that person. do you know which of these guys is going to win? I'm like, they're all going to win. If someone's asking you for your accounts to bet into, they're very likely going to win. That's just the reality of it. So I agree with you there. I think his point was like whether or not we'll have this larger conversation again at some point, but whether or not someone who's tailing the service plays will be able to win by betting the service plays.
Exactly. And that's a totally different item. Like Fezzik just said he's going to win every year, but I know 3 years ago his service lost. Well, I'm not saying my service is going to win because it's so much more difficult. Guess what? I don't get to bet Green Bay +3 +105 first quarter for my service. I have to bet +3 lay $1.20. It makes it a lot harder.
Right. Totally agree with you. All right, John. All right, Steve. I was going to say Johnny. Here we go. All right, Steve.
Here's
Appreciate
Johnny.
you joining. It was a great conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you about this stuff. We got an interesting game on our hands, probably a bunch of stuff we can get down on here in the second half, but all the best. And yeah, we will set that up again in the future. We will. There will be another.
One last thought is how I was adamant. Kansas City has to be -1 and it has to be 23.5. And pretty much that's exactly what it is. So it kind of shows there's some games are hard to price. Yes. This one's easy. We know how good these two teams are, and we didn't see anything to change our opinion. And you know what? There's probably less opportunity to bet games that are easier to price like that. I do want to mention Buffalo's had 6 straight all-in games, needed them like blood. KC had week 18 didn't matter, and they had a laugher last week. They've had 8 days of rest. KC has had, Kansas City 8 days of rest, Buffalo 6. I'd have to favor Kansas City. Gun to my head if I had to make a bet second half.
All right, there you go. Steve Fezzik, everyone. Appreciate you, Fez. Wow, he just dropped abruptly like that. It's like he left on, he's like a Costanza walking out. Left with like his final thought and then just boom, gone.
I usually give the guests like a runway to say like, you say thanks for coming on, then they say thank you again. Then I kicked him out and that was it. He just dropped it was like very abrupt. It was like, yeah, it's, if I had to do something second half, it's this, boom, see you later, like gone. That was good. That was great. A lot of fun
good
so far.
Back and forth. Like, yeah. There's like, we could definitely discuss it again on Circles Off or something, but like everyone always feels like kind of attack when someone comes at you in some way. I think that he's misconstruing what Johnny was saying. Like, I don't think we deny that Fezzik wins at betting on sports. It's just a different story when you have a service and, like, to his own admission, he's going out and betting the stuff himself and then he's giving out the service. That's completely different right there. Mm-hmm. That's completely different. But anyways, wow. I mean, we could have overlapped at some point. He dropped off so abruptly. He was gone in like the blink of an eye. If he had just stuck around like 1 minute more, we could have had him hash it out with Johnny right here.
What's going on, boys? Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
I just shot Jason a text. Said, Jason, tell Fezzik to stay if he has time. We can have the convo now.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, we'll do it for Circles Off ratings at some point.
We'll do it again. I actually would have loved them to stay. I was making a little list of some unbelievable stuff said by Fezzik on there that we were going to have some great discussions about. And also, by the way, what a performance in the first quarter by our guest, Rex Byers. That was electric.
Honestly, it was the first half went by like this for me. I don't know about anyone else, but it flew by for me. So you're rooting for the Bills. Is it betting wise, or you just want to see Buffalo finally win?
Go Bills. Go Bills. If they could also cover the 2.5, that would be appreciated. But, let's see if they can get a win here. I was just listening to the second quarter side with Fez. Very interesting so far. Game's been pretty good. A lot of long drives. I think it's just the one punt really by Buffalo.
I think this might have been the biggest play of the game right here. MVS. That's like not even 30 yards, I don't think. What was that? Like 30 yards.
Maybe the Hilaire catch and run there. Buddy, how good is Josh Allen rushing the ball?
Oh yeah. This is elite quarterback play right here across the board. Like I love watching games like this. Like, no disrespect to Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. Like, that turned into a good game. It was entertaining in the second half, but like, this is what I want to watch, right?
I'll say this. I been watching a lot of football this year. Josh Allen throughout the year, he has not figured out the QB sneak. All right. Hurts obviously has mastered it. A couple QBs getting better. Allen, he hadn't figured it out. He's just doing it wrong. Reaching the ball a lot. they tried a couple things. In fact, I think they may have signed Leonard Fournette just for the QB sneak. I don't know for sure, but they basically gave him a bunch of plays that first game he played, last game of the season. They were testing out the QB sneak a lot in Buffalo in that Miami game, and was given a little bit of success, but not much. Yeah,
Dude,
big run there.
This fake out, the guy who got faked out on this play, dude, I know it's tough. I know it's tough defending Mahomes in the open field, but dude, what are you doing right here getting faked by that little
I know he wasn't even he was already past the line of scrimmage too. But what I was gonna say is a hot call for me is Josh Allen. I saw it a little bit last game. I saw it a little bit this game. He's mastered the QB sneak. They figured it out.
Well, he's going to get stuffed on one. He goes left every time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But if he needs to go, he needs to overcommit to holding the ball down into the chest and pushing forward with his body weight and then getting bulldozed from behind and then putting his legs forward and just keep moving the feet. He hasn't been doing that. Like, you can't be reaching the ball unless it's at the goal line or even on fourth down. You can't fumble it unless it's at the goal line. You can't be reaching the ball. What happened here?
Okay, so AJ Klein just rolled his ankle for the Bills. AJ Klein 52. Is an absolute duster of a player. The problem is both other middle linebackers are out, and they brought in AJ Klein just to fill in at middle linebacker. I don't even know who's going to be playing linebacker for the Bills right now. Like, they're literally going to have to put someone from a different position in at middle linebacker at some point.
There's a positive
Barry
play for Buffalo.
Barry Horse says getting bulldozed from behind is always the key.
Always the key. What's going on?
Careful where you say that, right?
We'll fill it in here. We talked about it on Circles Off this week, if anyone listened, but their question was asked basically like, how does Barry Horse pay for stuff if he has 100% of his net worth in crypto? We were able to debunk it. Basically, I don't want to give out all his info, but it's not 100% of like liquid net worth. It's like basically everything that he's investing or savings is going to be in coin, but obviously still keeping enough cash to pay for a meal in fiat currency, which obviously is very fair. So there you go. There's the answer for a lot of people that were messaging after the episode and for anyone who commented as well. Pacheco here, good catch and run.
Josh Allen has to let Fournette bulldoze him from behind.
Fournette's not the guy who can do it.
No, they cut him. They cut him at this point. He's not on our roster anymore.
Of course. And honestly, Ty Johnson's looking good. He's looking spry today.
One guy, Mason in the chat, great call. This was at the half. Mahomes over 12.5 rushing. Boom, nailed it right after the half. One play.
He did lose 5 yards.
He lost 3. They credit him -3, but he's now at 21 yards.
3.
Yeah, Klein is back in the game. Just rolled.
Josh Allen should be flying over his rushing yards as well for the second half.
I don't know. It's close if he's in here. Kelsey again. 2+ tutters for Kels.
Looks like he's in.
2+ tutters.
Did you have that?
No, I don't. I didn't bet anything related to Kelsey today.
Yeah, he's in. Unless he stepped out. Oh, he is confirmed. He is out. I don't know if it's enough to overturn though.
It's really his knee. Oh, it's close.
No, his foot touches down before the knee. So if you guys see me looking this way, I'm just looking at the TV. His foot touches down before the knee. And okay, you need the opposite angle. If they're showing the wrong angle, obviously. Do you know
this
is the angle? This is the angle we need. Hold up.
Yes, this is the one right here. Let's They've got to bring in Gene Steratore to let us know what's going on, you know? I think he's good. Or it's not going to get – they can't overturn this, I don't think.
No, they don't.
This pylon camera is the most junk of all junk camera views, right? They can't see his foot. What is this going to tell us? Did you ever hear of the Ernest movies growing up? Do you know of Ernest at all?
Literally no idea.
Okay. All right. I was just me and Jeff Feinberg were talking about all the Ernest movies. So there was like these comedies when we were growing up with this one guy who played a character called Ernest. And it was like Ernest goes to camp, Ernest goes to prison, Ernest goes to this. And they were like the most random. Yeah, here's like Ernest goes to jail, Ernest saves Christmas, all these. movies. This guy died when he was like 50 years old, many, many years ago. But I hadn't thought about one of these movies till someone mentioned it last night. And then James C. here said Ernest gets bulldozed from behind. I couldn't help but laugh, man.
Oh, where's man. Rex Byers when you need him?
Ernest. That's if Ernest was still alive today, the amount of amazing movies he would have put out in this climate would have been unreal. Unreal.
Hey, what bets you have for the game, Rob?
Too many to rhyme off, but I do have some Chiefs money line.
So do you know? I'm just gonna ask you a question. As a guy who bets, do you know how much you have on the Chiefs money line?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, sorry, not to call out Fezzik. I don't want to be a Fezzik hater, but that was absolutely outrageous.
Well, because he played both sides of the game, and he has more on one side than the other. But yeah,
I know. Join in the second quarter. Figure out how much you have on the game. Like, it's not that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, put it on the list for the next Fezzik interview. Write it down now. Seriously, remember it right now. Put it on the list.
Let me see what's on the list. Here's my okay. Obviously, that one it's not that serious, but you got to be knowing how much you have on the game. You got to be tracking your position. There's no other way I can justify ever giving advice to someone and being like, yeah, no, you don't need to you don't need it. It's like, whatever, it's just thing. Next, he did claim. Now, this one I wanted to call him out in person here. We will talk about on the next episode. He did claim that he doesn't care to pick up the 20s because he's over here printing 100s. Now, that was said. I actually agree with that a lot. It's like, you can't be collecting everything. Like, at some point you have to just focus on what you're good at, because then you could probably turn those hundreds into thousands and, hopefully tens of thousands and millions potentially. However, still back to my previous point from the last episode. If he's literally printing so many hundreds, then why is he doing the pick selling service? Which obviously, there it is. And then lastly,
but that's an easy one. That's an easy one to answer for him. Like, anyone's going to answer that the exact same way, right? It's like, it's just additional income. That's it.
No, I know, but I don't even want to get into it again. It's not possible that the pick service can win. If he's leaving the numbers there, he can make more money than betting the picks than the pick service, regardless of whether he has 2 kids and a house in Vegas. That doesn't matter. But anyways, last one is the betting exchanges, and nothing to do with Fezzik or anything like that, because we're mentioning this. I had one thing to add here. So you guys said, like, why are the betting exchanges not taking over? Which I know a lot of people are asking. It's a bit of a confusing point. The reason is, and this one I'm very certain on, they don't have any offering for the average guy to go and use that site.
Great point.
Betting exchanges are actually very good for straight wagers. So you want to just bet side and total, you should have an exchange, and most people who bet sides and totals will sign up for those. But the fact that they have no additional offering outside of those markets, maybe like first half, second half, side, total, that's it. You really don't entice any single person who wants to, like, just get into betting, or is a recreational bettor who wants, the DraftKings FanDuel player, even Pinnacle, which has, shout out Pinnacle, our sponsor, has incredible pricing on the money line sides totals. They also have so much more. So you have, like, the full drop downs, you have the alt spreads, you have the first quarter, everything, and then you have the variety of player props. They even started doing, like, first touchdown scorer, touchdown scores on Pinnacle. So anyone who wants to play at Penny can figure out kind of like what they're betting. They have yet to add the same game parlays, but the exchanges are just so far off, because who's going to want to post prices on parlays? Also, that's another one. You can't really parlay on an exchange.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that don't appeal to the rec better, period. Like it's not a, but yeah, all of those are valid. Like, they don't have the bet types that,
Yeah, I'm not saying they won't get those or they can't get those. I just think that's the reason right now why they don't have, hundreds of thousands of bettors daily, whereas obviously, the likes of DraftKings and FanDuel do. That's the main difference if I look at it. It's not, has nothing to do with pricing. It's just, you can't use that site. If I sent like one of these regulated exchange books to any of my buddies who are betting NFL right now, like, they wouldn't use it. They wouldn't care to use it. It's not going to be for them.
Right. Big third down here.
They stop him? No, I think they might have gave it.
Oh, it's close.
Oh, let's bring out the chains.
No,
bring out the chains here. No,
bring out the chains. I want to see them bring out the chains regardless, just for the pure entertainment value. But the ref's already signaling the, move it.
You know what? Another crazy
Finger
part about
blast.
the chains is they bring out the chains and then they move the chain. Obviously, now the chain, it's like where it's arbitrary starting point, end point. It's still manual error on like where they're going to start it from.
Right.
Then sometimes they pull it really tight. Sometimes they don't pull it that tight. And then even if it's like really close, sometimes they still mark it first down or not. Like even if it's clearly short of the chains, they'll mark a first down. It's ridiculous. The whole system is flawed. What is everyone sweating in the chat here? I want to sweat some bets with the
everyone posts what
chat.
we're rocking here. I got a few things that
What does Johnny think of Rex Byers' relationship status? I gotta go back and watch it. I only was basically told about it, and I tuned in afterwards, but I missed the part where he was talking, I guess, about his relationship status.
He's
we'll
trying to
share
date.
My thoughts on that.
He's trying to get out there. He's trying to get on Bumble and whatever, but he bets a lot, so it's a little bit tougher. Not into Grinder for sure. We've established that on the show, but he's trying to put himself out there. It's just tough when you're 46 years old living in Vegas.
Fair enough. Yeah, Rex, I don't know the guy personally, but very funny. I always enjoy listening to him. I have had some laughs there for sure. Rice over 71.5 receiving. That one, let me see. Let me just check how many yards he's at. That one might be tight.
33. He needs a big play. He needs a catch and run.
It's certainly still live. Certainly still live. That's Rice over receiving yards is live if they're down 4 at the end of the game and they need a full field drive.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. If you're judging Fez because of RJ Bell, it's odd. I don't know.
Andy is in the chat and seems to be a supporter of Fez. Listen, one way or another, I don't really care.
Diggs under 5.5. Diggs has been extremely poor in the last 6 games.
I have some Diggs unders here. That's probably my biggest sweat on player unders.
2 for 18. Allen's just really not throwing it that much so far. And the game's been going quick. We've had, what was it? It's a 5-drive first half. Really,
yeah.
If you count the last Chiefs drive, but 6 touches, really a 5-drive half.
The Chiefs have shut down number 1 receivers all year, and they've played a lot of good number 1 receivers. If you look at the yardage totals when they've gone up against the number 1, I think the highest this season was Devontae Adams, and he got 74 yards. And the second time they played him, he got 4 yards in that game. I pulled this up earlier today. St. Brown, 71. Calvin Ridley, 32. DJ Moore, 41. Justin Jefferson, 28. Tyreek Hill, 62. AJ Brown, 8. Jamar Chase, 41. They've limited number 1s all year. All year long.
And Diggs already hasn't been, he's basically production fell off since, I don't know exactly what week it is, but feels like it's been 6-7 weeks. He hasn't been performing. He definitely hasn't gotten a touchdown in a while. They're not using him in the red zone. I like that bet. I like that Diggs 5.5 under.
Just cash some Jamal Murray under 24.5 points, buddy.
Congrats.
I'm betting players. I know Jamal Murray, but some of these NBA prop bets, don't know who any of these guys are.
For sure. Someone just wrote in the chat, Bills are running so much. The way they're playing this game right now and having success on the run, it doesn't make sense for them not to run.
Yeah.
They're picking up. If you can run first down and then make it a 2nd and 6, that you're going to win those games, especially with Josh Allen.
The Chiefs are playing light boxes too. They're giving the Bills the run. So yeah,
is Willie Gay spying Josh Allen?
He was on a couple plays, but I've seen him drop into coverage some as well. So I don't think it's been exclusive. One thing with Spagnuolo,
that's the play. That's the play right there.
He mixes up his defenses a lot.
Yeah, honestly, Buffalo is going to score here.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to score here. It's 2nd and 6 coming up, but yeah, honestly, the way this game is going to go, by the way. Oh, is he injured right now?
Yeah, it looks like he left the game.
Will the just left the game? See, when you don't watch with volume for this, you miss a lot of stuff. So
yeah, I same with me. They used to put the graphics up on screen more, but
they didn't throw the flag there either. That was a late hit.
This gets called all the time, honestly. I can hear Romo right now, and he's saying this is like a great no call, I think. But I think that they consistently call that one in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm actually for not calling that play, in general. I'd rather that not be called when the QB's sliding. If you don't hit him direct in the head as a major hit, if you're trying to hold up, I don't think they should call it because it's a pretty shit call and it's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. But they do call those though. They've been calling those all season.
Ernest swallows the whistle.
Yeah, definitely Ryan C. Mahomes gets that call every time. No doubt.
Hey, man. You know who was second worst in the league in penalty differential?
They're down here, and they pick it up, and more. Ty Johnson. This guy's flying. Okay, what I was going to say, which we didn't get a chance there, but if the Bills get stuffed there on 3rd and 2, they got to go for that. The way this game's going, just they're going to convert that probably 70%.
Yeah, they would have.
Let's say it was a 4th and 1. You got to go for that.
Yeah.
And then KC also, pretty much you've shown next to no ability to stop him. Did KC 1st and goal here? Where are you at in the game?
I'm right with you. 1 second behind. 1 second.
Okay, what's the clock at for you right now?
They snapped it a couple seconds ago.
So I'm at 408, 407, 406.
Okay, I'm 410, 409. Okay. Yeah, so yeah.
Perfect. So we're right there. 2nd and goal. If I'm the Bills here, round this up the middle again. James Cook.
There's only been one punt in this game, right? And it was the
Bills punted.
The Bills punted. Yeah, have the Chiefs stop. Yeah, it was because the Chiefs have gone field goal, touchdown, end of half, touchdown. Bills have gone field goal, touchdown, punt, touchdown. A lot of offense, man. A lot of offense in this game.
Of course.
Yeah.
And not only a lot of offense, but quick clock burning drives as well, which is another reason why you want to put points on the board now, because let's say the Bills kick a field goal here. Okay, great. Now it's a 1 quarter left, 1 quarter of game left, and you're starting without the ball. So you're a dog. You got to be putting touchdowns on the board here.
For Anthony, anyone in there that's behind us in real time, the easy thing to do is just pause the stream and you'll catch up to us in real time. So there's ways around it. But if you just pause the YouTube stream, you end up catching us.
And I'm sure there's people ahead. I'm on regular cable here, but even this is probably a couple seconds delayed from some.
We have arguably, I don't know whatever Stream Rex Byers was on, but that guy was he must have been watching a direct feed to the stadium. I don't know what that was. Me and you are pretty we got quick feeds relative to the market right now. Quick feeds.
Yeah, if you had to place a bet right now, Rob, you had to take. Let me see. I'll set odds right here. Bills. Nah, there's nothing that I can set 50-50 right now. I'll wait for after this touchdown.
Yeah,
hopefully. Allen rolling right.
Ooh.
I'll throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be massive here, man. They need a touchdown.
Would you consider running a draw here on 3rd and 8 with the expectation that you're going to, you could still score on a draw on 3rd and 8, but the expectation that you go for it on 4th down if you pick up yards?
It's 3rd and goal from the 8th. Honestly, man, this is why I would have ran that last play.
Yeah.
I think you need 5 yards there, and you could still score on that one, but you would have gotten 4 or 5 on the run, and then you have 2 plays at the end zone from there. Yeah. That's what I would have done. But yeah, they could definitely not afford. They cannot afford an incompletion here. Otherwise, they got to kick.
Right.
We'll see. Yeah, I'd run this with Allen.
Sending 5 wide, I think that's a good move, right? It looks like the Chiefs.
False start?
Yeah. Yeah. Delay. It's got to be delay, right? Yeah. Oh, that's a big one. But it looked like the Chiefs were playing man there, which would have been great for Allen to run the ball, unless there was.
He had something up the like on the right there, potentially.
Chiefs haven't got much pressure today. Neither
some
team,
guys,
really.
some guys like Rex just had a guy reading him the box score. That was that was his feed.
No, he was on antenna. His setup was sick, man. His setup was sick. It was like he was working at NASA. He had like this 360 monitor setup he had going.
Here we go. Josh, and this is no way. Did he grab that? He got it.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see if he's in.
Oh,
you can't sell yet. Listen, I'll say this. Shakir is not that good a receiver. He's not an elite receiver yet that I trust that he got his feet in bounds.
He's better than Gabe Davis, though. Shakir is better than Gabe Davis.
Certainly better than Gabe Davis is only good for one long bomb every 2 games.
Yeah.
And did he get a second foot? This is what I'm saying. I don't trust. He might. Oh, he's in. Legend.
Yeah. The left foot got down. Barely touched, but it's down.
No, he's in. I wasn't saying he was out. I'm just saying he's not at the level of a receiver where you would trust
that no matter what. Yeah.
Like there's a couple guys that they're just unbelievable, man, in the NFL. And that's, I think, what separates sometimes the best of the best from like Shakir might be a stud next year, or even for the rest of this, might win a Super Bowl and be a stud. He's good. But like I remember just like watching Julio Jones on the Falcons, like growing up. And then basically anytime there was a sideline play, sometimes like the refs would even call it no catch. And I'd be like, no, I think he got in because like Julio gets in there. And then sure enough, they'd challenge it and he was in.
Spagnuolo upset. I mean, L'Jarius needs very good cover corner one-on-one, but that's the matchup. I mean, they're going to shade towards Diggs. Whew. MP, I hope you get there, man. Sweating a Shakir 2 tutty. Ooh. Do we have a nickname for Khalil Shakir?
I think, you know what? That Shakir 2 tutty, you're going to get that. If you get that, it's coming in OT.
Yeah.
You know what's possible if you're coming into OT and you need 21 points? It's possible to cover the over in the new rules.
It is.
Did you know that? It's possible to cover up to 21 and a half because you can go touchdown 2PC, touchdown 2PC, and then touchdown. They still wouldn't kick the extra XP.
If I was thinking about one of the the Bills always lose in painful ways, right? So if I was thinking about the most painful way for the Bills to lose, the game goes to OT. They score a touchdown on the first possession. Remember how they complained that they didn't get the ball? Yeah. They changed the OT rules.
Oh, and then Casey goes
and then Casey scores a touchdown and goes for 2 and win.
You know, if you score the second touchdown, you have to go for 2. I was just talking about this today. If you score, so let's say the Bills go. No, you don't have to. You don't have to by law, but I'm saying like EV wise, it would be an absolute treacherous move to not go for 2.
Reed is not an EV guy, though.
Score. But he would have to because, okay, so let's say Bills go kick XP. They're up 7-0. Casey goes, Kelsey touchdowns. Now they could tie it. Yes. Then they tie it. It's next score wins, and Buffalo starts with ball. They're probably going to be like Buffalo would be minus like 170 in that scenario. Whereas if they go for 2, they're favored to score that 2PC and win the game right there, and it actually ends the game. So you would.
It's 100% the right move, but I'm telling you, Andy Reid would not do that. Reed is not like he's not going to be the guy that pushes that boundary. Yeah,
but you think he wouldn't go for it?
No, Reed wouldn't. He's not there. I mean, I can message Eager right now with this exact scenario, and he would tell me, but I'm pretty certain he wouldn't go for it for 2.
Well, yeah, there's a chance. I'm just saying, like, expected value wise, like that is it's a very clear win percentage difference to go for 2 there versus to kick, especially when it's like you're not a massive favorite in the game. But if it's playoffs, you're not even that big a favorite where it matters. But even San Fran versus Green Bay, it's like, hey, neutral side, Green Bay starts with ball. They need a field goal to win. Like they're probably still at either a pick 'em or a slight favorite to win the game, even though San Fran is the better team going in. But in this scenario where the teams are, roughly a pick 'em, I don't see how you would not go for 2 there.
Right.
But we'll see. I don't know if we'll even get that scenario. We haven't had an OT game in a while.
It won't happen anyways because Tyler Bass will miss the PAT when the Bills score the first touchdown.
You calling that? Okay, let me give you a line. Let me give you a line right here. Okay, you have to make a play on the over 58.5 or under 58.5 plus 100 aside. Have to make a play. What are you playing?
I would take under 58.5.
Under 58.5. So it's
I'm rethinking it now. I mean, I'm not looking at live odds or anything like that.
No, that's the number. I'll give you an honest. That's the number.
58.5 is probably juiced under right now. Like I would say that's the case.
Let me just take a quick peek. It is. I'm going to reference Pinnacle price as soon as they put this back on the board. But after that first play, it is slight juiced to the. Yeah, it's juiced under. 58.5 is juiced under.
Yeah, like
but
that.
58 is juiced over because 58 would be a key number in that standpoint.
Exactly. Yeah, because with the 44 right here. Oh man. Yeah, if I had to at that price, I would take under. If you give me plus 100 on both, but if God, I would not want to click submit on that bet.
Yeah, I just don't. Personally, I would take the over. There's still too much time, and these teams they bleed clock. But like if I think honestly, like this game's gonna end within a couple points. Because even if Buffalo gets like the extra TD there, like Casey would come back and score and then try an onside kick. Like they're going to score at the end of the game, even if it's not to win it.
Dude, the Chiefs are 8.9 yards per play right now. I don't know if they've done that all season. I honestly don't think.
Did the Chiefs have the Chiefs gotten stopped yet?
No. End of half. That's it.
Did they turn it over once?
No. Field goal. 2 field goals. End of half. 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Field goal, touchdown, end of half, and then touchdown,
and this drive.
Then this drive. They have yet to even come close to punting it. Like they literally haven't come close to punting it. Wow. Plus, you just know the way this game is. There's going to be an absolute dog shit PI call at the end for one of these two teams. Yeah, Bills' defensive injuries are crushing it. And there you go.
Dog shit PI.
Valdez-Scantling big.
Yeah.
All right. How's your all right, I'll give you another one. over 61.5. What are you taking?
Now things have changed. So if I still think, oh my God, man. The problem, these teams are just so good at scoring quick if they need to. That's the thing.
And they're not yet in a situation. If Casey scores a touchdown here, then both teams are not going to be in a situation where they can afford to bleed clock in exchange for EV on the play.
Exactly.
So they're going to be playing regular. Like, let's say Casey scores here, kicks extra point. They're only up 3. Let's say Buffalo then punts it. Casey's up 3. They can't afford to play suboptimal to burn clock. They still got to kill. They still got to play for a score.
I'd rather put my fucking nuts in a vice grip than bet the under in this. Like I would not want to root for an under at any point in this. Like, just don't want it.
Okay, go right now. Bills Chiefs plus 100 aside. Make a play.
Right now. Chiefs plus 100 aside. Like, what's the spread? You're just saying like pick the
pick
Bills
the winner.
Should be favored. The Bills should be favored right now.
So the
Bills should be favored. Like if I'm going to price the game off the top of my head, Bills minus 120 right now.
Yeah, that's no vig line. You're probably minus 10 plus 10.
Yeah.
So who would you take at that line?
I think the Chiefs are going to win the game. There's not there. This is the most recreational, dumb take I can give. It's as dumb as when I believed in the curse of the Bambino with the Boston Red Sox, but I believe the Bills will find a way to lose in the most painful fashion. That's Bills football right there.
All right. I think my time is up here. We're at the end of the end of the third. Let's go Buffalo. They can cover 2.5. We're live. Who's up next?
We got Hitman for the fourth quarter.
Hitman, the man who Fezzik claims wins more money than anybody else that you know. So there you
Correct.
go, Hitman. The
He
winning
told
is
me
better
that. He
of the
told me that.
season. No, obviously, Hitman, a great dude. I was just chatting with him a lot this week. I'm curious to stay to listen and see what he's on. But anyways, boys, cheers. Until next time.
All
Go
right.
Bills.
Johnny from BetStamp, everyone. Make sure you download BetStamp as well. Pretty easy to do so on Android or iOS. Very, very good line comparison tool. You can track all your bets. You can check out the website as well, betstamp.app. But right now, this man is on his high horse. He delivered a best bet winner this week. Just handicapped it perfectly. Green Bay's going to take the ball. They won the coin toss. They took the ball. Cashed that +3 first quarter. Was a little bit of a sweat, but he got there. What's going on, Hitman?
Betting some Josh Allen live over
Overs?
65.5
Rushing yards. Yeah. I would do the same with Mahomes too, like at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet Mahomes at halftime, and that won, and I bet Noah Gray over at half, and I'm still looking
Saw
for a
that.
pitch from him.
Your halftime bets make their way into the chat here as well.
Dude, I think like on that, I told you on that show I do. I think I'm like the opposite of forward progress. So I'm 500 on the year. It's just I wish I would have been 16 and 8 on each show, you know, instead of 2 and 16 and 16 and 2. But
well, Rashee Rice. Oh, I thought that was the ball that came out. I thought that was a fumble. It was just like
we're gonna have to sync.
We're gonna sync.
I thought that was the ball. I thought that was the ball too.
Okay, I'm gonna pause at 14:45.
Cool. Good.
Okay, we're synced now.
Yeah, that Allen bet is pretty good in my opinion.
Rice is limping off, by the way.
He's not. One of my betting partners is here. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he's manning the ship right now, telling me what to bet while I'm on here, distracted. All I do for you, Rob. Nice.
Pacheco in. Okay, Taylor Swift going nuts. Taylor Swift going nuts. Pacheco, man. There's no like this is a game, man. This is a very, very enjoyable football game. Yeah. Very enjoyable. I could tell you're enjoying it because your leg is definitely shaking. I could see the camera just bouncing.
You know what? I think somebody else mentioned that like my camera bounced. It's because I'm out on a standing desk and I tend to lean on it with my elbows and it just starts freaking shaking the thing.
Strong elbows, man. Been doing those tricep exercises.
I've been doing Pilates and I've been doing the rip stick, you know, so I'm gaining a lot of core strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what did Fezzik come on? And I heard Johnny at the end. What bullshit was he spewing?
Oh, it was an electric. Fezzik or Johnny? Which of the two?
No, I wouldn't bust Johnny's balls. What was Fezzik saying?
No, we were. It was a good convo. It was a good convo. His opinion is that I should bet earlier in the week than I do, which I've kind of gone through this exercise before and like what the EV is on the bets. If the market was a lot bigger earlier in the week, I would bet a lot earlier in the week. But
it depends on your fill. It depends what you're looking to get down. Like, early in the week NFL sides, like 5 figures is pretty easy.
Oh yeah,
and then it's just like
between Pinnacle.
You'll move the yeah,
and a couple offshores, like you can get that no problem.
Yeah, if you just hit the main books on the screen, like Circa, Bookmaker, Pinnacle, and Bet Online.
Yeah,
for like a random like week 16 game on Monday at like 10 a.m. What do you think? Like 25? I think Bookmakers usually 10
on Sunday night.
No, on Monday late morning. It's usually 5 to 10.
Yeah. So here's the difference, right? Like I can do that. I could wait till Tuesday sometimes, get more and at a better price.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going like with other pros and like no vigging it at that point. Very random question, just because it's come up in the last 2 days on the stream. Do you remember the Ernest movies?
I've never heard of them.
Man. Jeez. Just living in my own world with Ernest.
Should I know?
Really, really disappointing. You're not that much younger than me. You're barely younger than me.
How old are you?
I'm born in 86.
Okay, you're 6 years older than me.
Oh, so it's definitely a big gap. That's enough of I just figured because our hair looks the same that we're relatively the same age.
Dude, you know I wore the same hoodie that you were wearing this morning, and then I changed it to the Magoat hoodie.
Yeah.
So thank God. I can't be out here looking like I like to give myself more credit than I look like you, Rob, you know? No offense.
Oh man. Oh,
I
God.
gotta take some shots. I mean, I've gotten harassed on Forward Progress for like 12 straight weeks, you know?
Yes. No, you definitely do have more hair. But I mean, listen, a few more years of betting, and this is what it ends up like. So,
Dude.
This isn't genetics. The genes are good. The gene pool in the family is very strong. This is just purely betting.
I mean, listen, if Kansas City can win outright, I didn't buy off a ton of that boost today, and I bet Kansas City +3 earlier in the week. So if KC can win outright, might be able to go to Turkey, you know, flight to Turkey, surgery.
Well, the hair plugs would be great. Like Mike says, pick up the Propecia, but like, I don't care. At this point, I'm married. It's not getting much worse. If worst case scenario, that's it. Fly out to Turkey, get the job done. That's it. That's it. It's I should have brought up Ernest with either Rex or Fezzik. They would have definitely known Ernest. Definitely would have known Ernest. It was a good convo with Fezzik, though. People were heated in the chat, man. Some Fezzik supporters, some Fezzik haters. It was going. We had Dinger in here, who I was not a big fan of Fez. It's a lot of interesting people. Yeah, a lot of interesting people out there.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to say nothing that doesn't put me in the wrath of Dinger or any of the gatekeepers, you know. So I'm gonna make sure to watch my mouth.
I got a lot of sweats right now that they're all like low unders. Like I have Mahomes no interception sweating right now. I have McCole Hardman under yards. I don't think he has a catch. I have Richie James under half a reception +160. Doesn't have one yet. Like I don't want these to die in the fourth quarter. This is the problem with sweating low under.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet on Richie James. I didn't get that.
He was on the field on the first play of the game, and I'm like,
I noticed. And that's why we tune into the stream, Rob, for Hitman to give out Allen live over. First play. Yep. Well, it didn't win yet.
8 yards. No, but yeah, I'll be shocked if that's the last carry of the game for Allen. Man, this has been like an offensive clinic from both. Kansas City's 9.1 yards per play.
Yeah, it's whoever touches the ball last.
Yeah, it feels like one of those.
It's a great game.
I've already painted the most painful picture for the Bills, which is the game goes to overtime. The Bills get the ball first. They score a TD, but because of the rule change that they instituted because the Bills lost to KC.
What is overtime rules again?
It's both teams get a possession guaranteed, no matter what.
And then the second, if they both score field goals, touchdowns, and the second possession is sudden death.
Yes. So that would be the most painful, is that the Bills get the ball first. They drive the field in OT, score a touchdown, but because of the rule change that was instituted because of them, the game doesn't end.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't got many sweats on. This is a rare game. I'm pretty much playing like every star player under at some point in the playoffs, just because the paperheads, some of them just tend to give inflated lines on pretty much everyone. That's good.
Yep.
So I have those, but those are kind of like smaller positions usually and everything. The only decent sized bet I have is Justin Watson over, which I mean, I should be shot for why I bet that. So that's going to lose.
Oh, I knew this was going to happen.
They stopped
I
it.
knew this
They
was going to
stopped
happen.
it.
They stopped him.
You know that. I'll tell you what.
I fucking
I'll tell you
knew.
what,
I should
Rob,
have said it. Yeah.
That's a fucking desperate team.
Desperation. Just keep your offense on the field.
I
Like
know.
everyone knew that was McDermott.
And
like-
he ran it with DeMar Hamlin.
Hamlin. Well, he is alive.
Comeback player of the year hits the stat sheet for the first time this year.
I can't believe I didn't call that shot in real time because I fucking felt that it was. I could feel it happening.
I would assume that somebody on the field had a cue. You know, like if you see this specific show from the Chiefs, then you're going to fake it.
Yeah.
And maybe they did it on their own. Like, I don't know. I'm sure McDermott will try to push that narrative. That
But if you're gonna, yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. But if you just fucking trust your offense that's been doing everything.
Oh, Pacheco!
Wow.
Do you have any? Did you get any of that Kansas City on ESPN bet?
For us, it would be score bet here, but you're not the same level that you did.
Okay.
How the fuck did you get a 15K fill?
Dude,
Did they profile you as a lemon already or what?
dude, it's I don't know because I bet it in the morning on my account. And like my account, for context, they had the Chiefs. I just want Hardman. Get in. Oh, did he fumble?
Oh,
did this fucking idiot fumble?
Did he fumble out the end zone?
Dude, I think he did.
I think he did too.
They're saying it's at the 1. They're saying he was down.
Dude, he fumbled that ball, man. He fumbled that ball. He's on this defender. Oh, it's so close.
It's razor.
You know what? I think it's going to stand.
Just like quickly looking at it, I thought he was down by a fraction, and it's going to have to stand.
I think so too.
Here
I
we
think
go.
whatever they ruled, honestly, I think whatever was called on the field, they cannot change the call. And if they had called this a touchback, I think it would have been a touchback.
They're gonna, dude. It's fucking close.
I think like if you I think he's up. I
we
think
get
he's
a
not
freeze
down.
frame.
The ball starts moving before his knee
I
goes
agree
down.
with
I
you.
think like this
Like,
the
I
frame
think-
before.
Yeah. This is
Like-
a touchback, in my opinion. I think this is a touchback.
Dude, they gave him the ball one other time this game, if you remember. In
This
the
is
red
the
zone.
dumbest shit. Like
He
Andy
fumbled.
Reid, like why the fuck do you do this shit on the goal line? It's the dumbest shit.
That was crazy. Are we gonna get another KC Bills rule change after the game's done? Like,
Well,
where
this rule change, I think
it should have
this is gonna
changed
come-
years ago. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's like the 4th time this happened in a watch along that we've done this year. Like, it's the dumbest rule.
How about these players just don't stick the fucking ball out on first down? Just do that. If you
Agreed.
don't like
You know
the
what?
rule.
Hey, man, you make a great point.
He had 2 carries today and he's got 2 fumbles.
That's funny.
Anyways, you call stupid things happen.
What were we talking? We were talking about. Yeah, so I woke up in the morning and my ESPN bet, for context, they had the Ravens at -6.5, -125, and they had the Chiefs at 3.5, 120 at one point on Tuesday night. And my account was limited to win $400
Right.
on an NFL side, playoff side, 5 days before the game. So like and I don't even bother betting props there. So like it's a completely fried account. And yesterday it was unlimited on Baltimore. You could bet whatever. And then it was 15,000 this morning. And I texted some other partners and I was like, hey, bet this for 15,000 or whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm limited to like $800. Like everyone was saying that to me. Like some people were saying like 2,500. So I don't know, like if maybe they opened it up really early. They took what they had to take and they're like, all right, we got enough on this, and they lowered it for everybody else. Like, I don't know, but I'm happy. Well, I was happy before that fumble. I was really happy. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
I will jump in and I was talking to some people about this as well. They had the same thing as you, like around $800 to $1,000, which seems to be the max there. But some people I know were checking right before, like maybe an hour before game. Who
My buddy's at the game. He says it's overturned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yep. It's going to be a touchback.
Wow.
Man, just enormous swing. Like literally, you just do not have to turn. The player has to take the blame. So Hardman just he's got to take the blame. But
He sucks.
Nagy and Reed, whatever the fuck they're dialing up this week with his goal line plays, like you're running at will with Pacheco. He's got 7.3 yards per carry. They literally cannot stop you running the ball. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a couple runs as well. Like, it's just the dumbest. It's the dumbest call. It's the dumbest call.
You know, last week I bet Hardman over, and he got a shitload of usage. And I think he had like 180 air yards for 3 real yards.
Yeah.
Didn't alligator armed a bunch of deep balls.
The thing is that play completely let McDermott off the hook for the fake punt call now. Like even if they lose this game, the fake punt call, like it didn't really matter at the end of the day. It didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. I hate that rule.
Did you get some Kansas City or no? You just got a little bit.
I have Chiefs. Not nearly
as
much.
Did you bet anything with them before that promo?
No.
Okay, so you just got a small position on the Chiefs for this game?
The only real, I'll call it a real bet. Shakir is hurt.
Oh.
Bad. Time to fire.
Yeah. I'm seeing if anything's up.
Oh.
It's locked, you said?
Yep. His fucking head got sandwiched, man. That's the old cranium crush. You remember Crush back in the day?
No.
You don't know Crush?
No.
The wrestler Crush? You don't remember Crush?
No, it's the second week in a row you mentioned a wrestler that I don't recognize.
His finisher he would just grab the sides of someone's head. Here he is. It's Crush.
No.
The cranium crush he would just squeeze a guy's head as his finisher.
Hitman fraud wrestler guy.
Jesus,
Hitman fraud. Like
I can't believe he didn't know IRS first.
Yeah,
Erwin R. Shyster.
I knew IRS. IRS was before my time, and I knew
the sad thing is like I only watched wrestling religiously from like 2001 to 2006. So like I missed like most of the Attitude Era because I was when was the Attitude Era? Like 96 to 2001. So I was like 4 to 9 years old,
right,
when it was happening. So I missed a lot of it. So it's mostly been like I've caught up on all of it through like documentaries and stuff like that, and like YouTube. I mean, God, I watch so much wrestling on YouTube. It's pretty sad.
Do you know Dink and Doink?
No.
You don't know Doink the Clown?
I know Doink the Clown.
Yeah, Doink the Clown. And Dink was like the little person clown. Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember them either. Fake wrestling fan.
Oh, man. Yeah, Crush was just unreal. The people are upset. The chat has turned on you, Hitman. It's really turned on you. They're like really upset now. Of course, Hitman knows Goldberg.
Goldberg, he was the anti-Hitman on Forward Progress. Would he start his career like 60-0?
Yeah, they built him up to like 100 wins in like 3 months. I don't know who the hell this guy was wrestling in the parking lot and whatever.
The real Hitman and Goldberg don't get along pretty well. Hitman Hart, he wants him
hates
dead.
Goldberg. He hates. Everyone hated Goldberg though. He was like he just couldn't wrestle. Nobody wanted to fight to wrestle with Goldberg. How many phones you got there, Hitman? People are noticing. They're picking up on the multi-accounting. You got to be careful to put that stuff on camera.
Oh, all right. Nobody gets to know. No, I was gonna show some, but I only got one phone. It's right here. One phone,
Single phone. Big 3rd and 12 here. Big 3rd and 12. Oh, he's gonna go deep. You could tell.
Oh God. Come on, make a.
Oh,
holy shit!
No, that hit the ground.
Field?
No, that didn't catch that, did he?
They're saying incomplete.
Oh, I don't know, man. It looked like it hit the ground.
It's incomplete.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I saw it like roll a little bit.
Yeah.
Trent Sherfield, in my opinion, is a dumpster of a receiver.
I mean, there's a reason number 2 perimeter receiver was lined at like 10.5 yards today.
Yeah.
You know?
I took Deontay Hardy.
Old call, Rob.
I took Deontay Hardy over 5.5 receiving yards. He
Did it
caught a
win?
ball for 3. I need with Khalil Shakir injured now, like he's gonna be in the game. I'll die if they fake punt this. They definitely would not expect that. Looked like a shank. Oh, what a bounce.
Yeah, I mean,
I learned something new.
Buffalo, like, if they advance and like there's been no update on Gabe Davis, like if he's even close at this point, I would assume not, because he hasn't even gotten a limited practice in.
Yeah.
Like if you're down Davis, you're down Shakir. Diggs has been a shell of himself the last half of the season.
No linebackers right now.
Like, yeah, I mean, I know that look ahead was 3. I mean, it was at FanDuel.
I don't think
3 with the injuries.
This is what I was talking about with Fezzik, right? The look aheads on the game. The Ravens aren't going to close, in my opinion, unless the injuries are really, really bad. They're not going to close 3.5 against these teams because there's just going to be so much appetite for someone to bet 3.5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It just depends how bad. Like Buffalo is like really messed up right now, injury wise. Like they are out of receivers, and you're out of defender potentially. Out of defenders.
KC's going to win the Super Bowl, man. Like it's happening again. I don't know how, but they're going to do it again.
All right, big 3rd down.
Big 3rd down coming.
Big 3rd down. Let's go.
3rd and 6. It is a big one. I learned something new about punting yesterday, by the way. You know when it looks like the ref is just walking down the sideline to spot the ball? He actually is walking because there's a ref behind the punter that signals the direct line that the punt went. And the ref just walks down the sideline until he locks eyes with the other ref, which they never show or have never explained on a broadcast ever. But I owe an apology to calling these moron refs morons.
Let me know how we can make money off that. That's all I'm interested in.
We can't, but it's not. It just really ruined my perception of the game and thinking that there's like a dumbass ref trying to just randomly spot the ball down the side.
All right, do we get Justin Watson right now? Nope.
No hold? No nothing? Okay. That was not even close.
Rob, I think you're downplaying how stupid that still is. Like you're gonna lock eyes with me 50
There's a
yards.
Late flag. Oh, I mean, I'm going to be honest. In real time, because you heard me say no hold, I thought there was a hold. Like the Mahomes kind of led him. Oh, it was he ruined his route. Yeah, there's something there that caused that route.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's not even a question.
Oh yeah,
there's.
I like the guy that said Warren Sharp's going to blame the refs. Whoever the crew chief was.
Oculi, here we go. That's obviously a penalty.
Listen, I will say that's a penalty, and people wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
But if he didn't do that, that might have been like 10, 15, 20.
100%.
Yeah. Like, honestly, might have been the right play.
Clear flag.
Like, might have been the right play.
I thought Andy Reid, if they win this game, and assuming there's no more stupid shit like giving the ball to McCole Hardman, I thought Andy Reid, like game plan of the week, he went really heavy 12 personnel in this game because Buffalo was saying that they only had McDermott was saying this is the first game I've ever played with only 4 healthy linebackers. Like that was the weakness. They went 12 personnel on them, and that also keeps Teron Johnson off the field.
Yep.
Unless they want to play nickel against that and treat Kelsey like a receiver, which you can, but you're weak in the run game. Then I thought Andy Reid has done a really good job this game, other than giving the ball to McCole Hardman.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, they're underdogs on the road. They had a couple extra days to prep. They finally got this offense working, man. Like this, 9 yards per play.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done that all year. They probably didn't do that in a game all year.
I mean, Eric made a good point where he was saying like this is the most well-rounded team that they've had as far as run game and defense. So
yeah, it's not the most flashy team. They don't have the downfield threat. I mean, MVS is their downfield threat. That play blew up. Just throw it away, Patty. That's it. Yeah.
What have you made their defense in this game so far? Have you like changed anything just eye test wise watching the game?
They're giving Buffalo the run, and Buffalo's running the ball really well on that.
Yeah, okay.
And they seem content to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like Buffalo's offensively played pretty well for the most part until late in the fourth quarter here. Chiefs have been able to get some pressure and get off the field.
And then on top of that, is there any other offense out there that is even close to the Bills, you think, right now? Probably the Ravens and the Niners.
Oh, the Bills' offense, I don't think is that good.
You don't think it's that good? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I haven't for most of the year.
Okay, fair enough.
They don't have any weapons. What are they going to do? Dalton Kincaid over the middle of the field?
Thought I'd ask.
Yeah. I mean, relative to the rest of the league, fine. There haven't been like many great offenses, but I don't think the Bills are a powerhouse offense.
So do you think the Ravens have the best offense left right now, or?
Let me just see where I rank them here.
All right.
It's pretty close. Big play. Third down. Big play.
Come on, Watson. Scramble drill, Watson.
Good play. Good defense. Very good defense. Here we go. Healthy Niners was the best, though. I agree. I think the Rams had the second best offense in the league at the end of the season, personally. Time to sweat it, man. Time to sweat.
Yeah, it's a good sweat. Hopefully Kansas City doesn't, if they do lose, it's by 3.
Yeah. Oh, man. As a special teamer there, okay, you've watched the Bills returner wave for a fair catch. Why the fuck are you standing right next to him? Go to the goal line. Like, how do they coach these guys? I don't understand.
Well,
how many times are the guys dropping the ball nowadays on a fair catch? It's not like it was in 1998 where they dropped like 20% of the punts.
I mean, it can happen.
But wouldn't you be better off? Like, if the guy's calling a fair catch at the 9-yard line, go to the goal line.
And then how stupid are you going to feel when he muffs it and he's just right there to pick it up?
I guess. Listen, you feel like a fucking idiot is what you'd feel like. No doubt about it.
No golf the whole week for me. This whole past week, it's killing me.
You haven't golfed this week?
I think Tuesday I'm going to be able to get out. The snow's depends on how the snow evaporates off the course.
How the snow evaporates.
Was that the proper term? Or no? Melts?
Melts would probably be.
I'm distracted right now. I got a nice healthy wager on this game.
Yeah, I get it. I went for a lesson this week, and I had a lot of success with that lesson.
What did he help you? What did you learn from it? I want to hear it.
Like, what did I work on, or what?
Yeah, what did he say was your big flaw, and how are you going to correct it?
So I've been working on like generally my balance in the golf swing, which I get a little bit too stuck on my back leg a little bit too much, and a little bit of hip sway rather than full turn. But what I've been really working on is generating more lag in my swing.
Yeah.
And kind of like whipping through the ball rather than, I guess, whatever I was doing before. And I was fucking like bombing my 7-iron, man. Now I got to go out and practice with all the clubs. But I went in there hitting my 7-iron like 165, and I left there consistently hitting about 190. With some,
you're telling me that you were hitting your 7-iron 190.
Yes,
dude,
consistently.
I guess I just got to grow a pair of balls, but I mean, I'm hitting my 7-iron, and I'm working on more distance because I don't hit it far, but I'm a 13 handicap hitting my 7-iron like when the weather's good, like 155.
Oh, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your reaction. Holy shit.
Oh.
Wow, he had him. That's a fucking unreal throw. That is a dime.
Yeah.
What happened to the Stephon Diggs that I knew and loved watching him back in Minnesota? Like, is he just cold? Like, what happened?
I mean, yeah, like it's like he should catch that ball.
If you get two hands on the ball, there's zero excuse for you not catching it, especially if you're Diggs. Like, you're an alpha. Like, you're the guy.
Yeah.
It was a very difficult catch.
It was, but one that he could have made. I was hitting them 200 yesterday, Raymond. On average, it was 190.
Yeah, honestly, I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it. Now I'm gonna call it bullshit.
Believe it when you see it, man.
I mean, what were you playing with? Like 100 yards of elevation when you were doing that?
0. I mean, it's at a sim, but it's a track, man. It's like pretty solid.
We'll see. We'll see when we play our big round.
Yeah.
When have you booked your flight to Ontario or / like your drive up here or what?
Nah,
it's gonna come across the border with Kanish.
Rob's gonna come to me.
No. I have a deal with you. Go check the private chat. I have a deal with you. Just come play golf with us. That's it. We can get some good content out of it too.
Yeah, he's definitely. Oh, now Knox is hurt. Oh my god, man. This team is decimated.
Come play with us. Let's play around together, man. Come on.
Listen, I'm going to be in Vegas after football, man. Everyone's going to be free. Oh, he hit his head.
Join us in the Great White North. Come on.
If I'm in that area, I'll let
head.
you guys know.
Oof. His head. I will. I'll video next time I'm out there, just for the haters out there that don't. I don't lie about my golf game. Period. I'm not saying it's consistently repeatable, but I had a lesson where I played, worked on some stuff.
Dude, 190 with your 7-iron.
Yeah.
Like that's like what isn't that like scratch golfer material type distance?
Possibly. I got a draw working for me again. A little bit too much now. Now I got to dial it back a little bit. But yeah, it's going.
I see your score sheet on our app. It's always playing from like 6,100 yards or something.
Yeah, that's my home course. Callan and the people I play with don't want to. Like, I typically play with my dad or some friends who just like they can't hit it. My 7-iron, typically speaking, is 165 carry. My 7-iron, 175 with rollout. That's for me a 7. Stock 7. It went to roughly 185, 190 carry on pretty much every shot.
I gotta pick my shit up.
Yeah, like I don't know what I mean. It's very reasonable. I mean, I'm swinging hard. It's not like I'm. Oh, there's Alan, more yards for you. How many was that? 3 or 4?
What is he at now?
With that 4 yards, he's up to 66.
I had 65.5 and 66.5.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be amazing, man. This is going to be a great finish.
Yeah. We'll forget about the golf. We got all season. Let's focus. Let's go Kansas City.
Yeah.
As Steve says, focus. Focus, everyone.
They're really trying to rattle Allen with these. That was late there too. I can't believe they gave the ball to fucking Mecole Hardman.
Oh, Diggs just...
I don't know what's going on here. This is the last I'm going to say on this topic because I know it's still going on here. According to Golf Link, Pro Tours 1.7. The difference is these guys hit it pure every time and consistently every time. I do not every time. Sometimes I toe it, goes a little bit less, whatever. These guys pure the shot every single time. That's what makes them pros. We can hit great shots. That's why we keep playing golf. We go to the course, we hit amazing shots, and we're like, fuck, yeah, that was great. I know I can do this. They just do it all the time. That's the difference. All right. Oh, he knew that was coming.
Buffalo, like, if they can't, like right now with this current skill position core that they have out there, with Snead on Diggs, like it's going to have to be Josh Allen just making a Superman play through his legs, through the air.
I think Hitman, if Allen actually made an accurate throw here, I think it was going for 6. I think he's lucky that he sailed that a little bit.
Come on, Casey. Yep, he's going to take off. Fumble!
Oh, fumble!
That's a fumble!
That's out!
Pick it up!
Oh, my God. What are you doing? How? What's Romo talking about? He's saying it was 100% going to be Kansas City's ball. Oh, my God, man.
How many times on these watch-alongs have we watched a player attempt to pick up the ball and run with it, only to just drop the ball every single goddamn time? The muff punts. It literally always happens.
Every end game result when we have a sweat goes against me. Like when Valdez-Scantling dropped that touchdown.
Oh, that was brutal.
Oh, God. I forgot about that. That was the Eagles game. Christ almighty. Shakir. They got it. That's easy. That was Shakir in the backfield. How is he in the game?
Yeah, wait.
They brought Stafford back into the game on a
true.
concussion, so it's not.
Guy's a warrior.
Yeah. That's a great play.
Let's just dive on the ball. Don't pick it up and run. Stop it. Especially most important game of your season. Like
that was a great play. They knew they had man. Whoever, I think it was Justin Reed covering him.
Dawson Knox is back also.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know. Kincaid, 5 yard. I cannot believe the sequence of events for Kansas City to be in this position.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Kansas City was the right side in this game, win or lose.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a coin flip now, and you got basically 3 with 3.5 in some case.
Yeah, it's a coin flip because a lot of shit went against you too.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
Now
this will be very interesting.
Now I'm just thinking about all right, Kansas City, we got to get the ball back. We can't. We need time on the clock if Buffalo does score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And now, Buffalo, if you don't get this, I think you got to go for it. Are you really going to try a 50-yard field goal in this wind?
Dr. Eager got his butt clenched. Why did Buffalo stop running? It looks like KC's playing their safeties closer to the line of scrimmage than they were in the first half. which is why I think you got that downfield shot to Diggs before. Surefield open. Wow.
See, now we start to get nervous. All right, Casey, we got to have time on the clock.
That's it. I mean, the Bills are good at this. Unfortunately, last time they left whatever it was, 13 seconds.
I mean, look at the end of the half. That was a good drive. They left 20 seconds.
They're good at milking a lot of clock, and now they'll start running the ball.
Yeah, this is definitely a run and take it to the 2-minute warning.
Yep. Cook, and he gets tackled at 2:38, so it's going to go to 2-minute warning.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. What a game, man.
I got to grade all these, Rob, and put them together. You got to grade all these at the end of the night. Probably just burn them. I lost on props this week.
Yeah. They're going to line up and try to draw them offside, right? Like they're not going to run a play here.
Yeah, no way.
Yes. They're not even going to line up there. Thank you, D2, by the way. I do appreciate you letting the people know. Tour Pro swings at about 85%. I'm swinging at 100. I'm trying to hit the ball far, but I'm getting good shot shape.
Listen, Hammer Channel. Listen, Rob and I are going to play a match head to head. No strokes. We're similar handicaps. And we're going to put odds on it. We'll get Pinnacle maybe to put up odds on it.
Yeah, imagine. Well, we can't do that. They would the regulated market would never go for me and you in a match together. Too many concerns about match fixing. Too many concerns about match fixing.
I don't know. What's my I take so much pride in freaking stupid golf. I'm trying to think, what's my price that I'll just throw it and play like a complete scrub on a live stream.
Yeah, there's always going to be a price, but no, I don't. I took the mini putt so seriously against Rufus. I can't believe that day that Jeff Feinberg beat me, he was fucking on fire, man. He was just hitting. It was the most absurd. I swear we probably played 20 practice rounds and I beat him in every single one. And he must have shot like 5 strokes better. This guy was like Kobe Bryant, man. Derek Jeter in the clutch. Everything was going in. I could not believe what I was seeing. Could not believe what I was seeing there. Jesus, man. Unbelievable. I don't know if I'm sweating because of the sweater or because of the outcome of the game, but sweats are happening right now. What should the live price be on the game right now? Buffalo favored, right? Buffalo's got to be favored in the game.
I mean,
like you
would think Buffalo's favored, then you're. I mean, I guess they're a favorite to score a touchdown rather than a field goal.
Yeah,
and then,
either way, they should be able to milk enough clock to kick a field goal. I don't know. Actually, let me just pull up it. I've been
Buffalo's a small favorite.
Yeah, Penny's minus 136. Just being bet up right now to minus 142.
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, dude, Buffalo's 2 plays away from having to kick the field goal.
Yeah, but we know that they're scoring a touchdown, right? It's coming down to Mahomes having to drive the field. But will Tyler Bass miss the extra point is the real question.
Dude, Durso, some Eagles fan I know texted me that Jalen Hurts was better than Josh Allen. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I know these people.
I meant to say Rob.
They don't deserve.
Our friend Durso's in the chat, and he knows what I'm talking about. That's why I said that.
Oh, they're throwing. Oh, what was that?
What do you think about that comment? Hurts versus Josh Allen, and how
who said this to you? This is a joke. They obviously can't believe it.
Yeah.
Dude, I think Allen had him.
In the chat knows who he is. He's an idiot.
Oh, he underthrew it, or Shakir didn't level off the route.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the situation here. Why I said I don't know that Buffalo should have been favored. Like you're you're going to have to kick it now.
Well, it's still third down.
Yeah, but 3rd and 9 with these. I'm just being optimistic. Come on.
Yeah. Wow.
Is it holding? No holding? All right. All right.
flag?
All right. We got Patrick Mahomes. Tie game. We got it.
Honestly, this is going to sound insane. Is there any you got to kick? You have to kick the field goal if you're McDermott, because you will get actually crucified if you don't attempt the field goal.
You should get crucified. Like, you have to kick it. You have to.
Yeah, I know. Oh man. Oh, I love the Hitman mysterious partner in the background. I love that.
Yeah, he was telling me Kelsey. Oh, he missed.
Oh, he missed it. He missed
Good
it.
thing we didn't bet it.
This is what I'm saying.
Idiot.
This is fucking what I'm saying. The Bills will find a way to fuck it up in the most painful way possible. I don't know how this franchise, like the Cowboys, it's usually not painful. They just fucking suck. The Bills find the most painful ways.
The guy with me was saying, "Hey Tom, should we bet Kelsey 2-1 to get a catch on the next drive?" And 5 seconds later, Buffalo missed the field goal. So yeah,
wide right as well, man. Wide right. Unbelievable, man.
Oh man.
The confirmed simulation, no? Like how
Yeah,
how many Buffalo wide rights are we gonna get in our lifetime? This is
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Listen, I'm gonna say this. It's not over yet. There's still there's still 2 timeouts that the Bills have. First down will end it.
I mean, with their defense,
They need a big
run
run
it
from Pacheco here.
right now.
Yeah, run it. Oh,
5,
bounced
6,
it.
7, 8, 9.
Wow. Now this is close. But listen, I'm not a rub it in guy. Listen, some people are on one side of the game, some people are on the other. I'm not going to be that guy or whatever. But just from an impartial view, forget about the bets. I think KC deserved to win this game today.
It's not even a question.
I don't even think it's questionable. Like, KC did, until that last punt, they basically moved the ball the entire game. They had the fumble out the end zone. They had the end of the half or whatever.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
Buffalo moved it pretty consistently for a while too, but
yeah,
second half they kind of stalled.
exactly.
The
The
first half,
adjustments in the
yeah.
second half. Pacheco
All right,
going
let's
to end
end
this
it.
one.
Let's end it right here. Come on, Pacheco.
Let's give it to him. Let him beast mode. Right up the
That's
middle.
it.
That's it. All right. All right.
If you're Buffalo, like this is the year to get Kansas City, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to figure, so we probably see 3 on the Baltimore game. That would be my guess on the line.
Listen, I say this in jest, and I reserve the right to change my opinion. I feel that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I do not want to bet against Patrick. If you're going to keep giving me Patrick Mahomes underdog prices here,
no, I'm with you.
This is how I feel.
It's the most well-rounded Chiefs team that they've had in years.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's kind of. I'm trying to think of it. Like, obviously, Mahomes is a gazillion times better than this version. But remember, like, the Denver team, when we were like, "Oh, it's Peyton Manning's most well-rounded team," even though he sucked. Mahomes is still obviously the best quarterback in the league, but it's just saying, like, this is Mahomes' most well-rounded team, even though it's probably the worst offense of the Mahomes era. It's the most well-rounded team, probably.
The only thing better than Durzo's bet right here is that profile pick. Absolutely smooth in the blazer. Look at
3.5, 115 on FanDuel. I'm betting that shit right now. Jeremy, bet that for us.
Why are we concerned about this Chiefs D? No, there should be nothing concerning about this. Is the best D they've had by miles in this era. It's not to say like Baltimore can't win. Baltimore's very, very good, well-rounded team, well coached. Lots of good things about Baltimore. But
it's not locked on mine. I got it.
There you go. You know what we just saw, though? We saw Mahomes kneel a couple times for the guy that hopefully doesn't Oh, look at that backflip. Woo.
I have over 13 rush yards on him.
He's at 21 right now.
Okay.
Today, okay. The
He's got it,
Chiefs
I think.
defense today gave up 4.7 yards per play to the Bills.
I think
It was a
we'll be-
game plan executed to perfection. They let them run in the first half as much as they wanted, prevented the big pass. Zero concerns right now about the Chiefs D. Zero. It's the best D they've had in a while. That doesn't mean Baltimore can't move the ball, but very little concerns. Oh, man. Great game. It's nice when we
I do
win
think,
together.
I do think Baltimore is an offense. Like, I felt like Buffalo's offense, Kansas City, was built to stop because you could just put Snead on their one really good weapon
Yeah.
and just bait Buffalo in the running, which is kind of what you want them to do anyway. Baltimore is obviously a lot different. There's not one guy that you
It's
can
true.
key on.
They have
with
more
them.
offensive
It's-
weapons. They could get Mark Andrews back next week as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I
Like, there's-
assume he will be back, but
Yeah.
not 100%. But
Love Richie James for the no catches and the one backflip on the final play. Thank you very much, Richie James. We do have to see who Clay Travis likes next weekend as well. That will make a tangible difference. By the way, people, best bets this week on the Thursday show, 4-0. Clean sweep.
what about the leans? How'd they do?
I don't know. I don't have it up in front of me. I'm sure Jason
Well,
will
that's
tally
that's
those.
all I give a shit about. So,
I think our one loss was under on Casey. I think we had a couple unders on Casey.
so I went undefeated. So I went undefeated on leans. That's where I was getting to, right?
Most likely, yes. We'll have to.
I think you had
check
very
the-
good leans. I think your lean
Yeah.
game was very strong because you went Green Bay and KC. Yeah, your lean game was strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not for the game though on Green Bay. It was the first quarter. But,
First quarter,
you know,
yes. Yeah.
But yeah.
The,
All right.
the real question is now, before Hitman goes, what's ESPN bet boosting next week? So I know to wait and to wait and play that instead of betting.
Well, that's a good question. It's
plus
like I'm
130,
betting
125
this
on the
stuff
case.
now, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
you kind of want to wait to see. But I don't know. I think that Kansas City. I bet Kansas City 3.5, 115 at FanDuel. I would guess it closes 3. I think you're in agreement, Rob. Closes 3 probably.
Yes. I think that'll be the closing number. We'll see how things play out, but I think 3 will be the close.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a Baltimore 3, 115, 120, but yeah, something in the iteration of 3. I don't think 3.5, 115 is going to last.
What was the length of that field goal that Bass missed? Does anyone know?
43, I want to
40.
say.
Okay. I messaged my friend Steve. We got it's very hard brightness. You have to trust me. This is right prior to the game. This is my exact words. Mark my words. The Bills will lose in the most painful way possible. Who's their kicker is what my friend asked. I said, Bass. He's going to piss a 32-yarder to tie the game. Direct shank. It was not a direct shank, but it was as close as it could be. I'm sorry, Bills fans. I'm sorry.
Well, in fairness, Kansas City was winning anyway, even if he made it.
Yeah. Lovig opened the total at 50. Oh, my God. All right. Hitman, appreciate you, man. You and Jeremy, have yourselves a good night. May the winners be yours, my friend.
All right. Thank you for having me. Talk to you later.
All right. That's Hitman, everyone. Reminder, everyone out there, you want to win some Pinnacle swag? Go over to www.thehammer.bet/thenails. You can enter some free contests to win Pinnacle swag, bet stamp swag, participate in our community. Sadly, this is my final live watch along of this season. It's not ours. Just leveling with everyone out there. Championship Sunday is sacred to me. It's the one Sunday every single year that every one of my childhood friends gets together and watches together. Please, though, stick around for the late game next week on Sunday. We will have a full team here for Forward Progress and a live watch along. I know a lot of people, I don't want to sound arrogant. I know a lot of people tune in because they like to watch me watch the games, but I love the team that we've built here with Hitman, with G-Stack, Eric Eager, Suma, Moretto, Jason, my producer. We're going to have a good watch along next week. So give them the love that they deserve if you can next week, because they put in a lot of effort to join me over the course of the week every single time. So really appreciate it. all of you in here, free, geriatric, DJN, Scott, Seth, James. I'm missing a bunch of you. But really goes a long way. Would also go a long way to helping support us and helping us put together content. If you are in Canada, make sure you check out Pinnacle Sportsbook. Sportsbook I've been betting with for a very long time. Make sure you check them out. Use code HAMMER if you are going to sign up there. Very good odds, competitive pricing. You'll really like it if you are a bettor. Our content continues this week. Same sked as last week. We're going to have Suma, Cleve TA, Sharp Clark, G-Stack George all together giving their early thoughts this week. Thursday, best bets. Me, Suma, Eager, Hitman. Friday, props. Legeza, Miller, Friedman. And then finally, Sunday, last live watch along of the season. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for my guest tonight, Rex Byer, Steve Fezzik, Johnny from BetStamp, and of course, Tom the Hitman Hughes, Jason Cooper behind the scenes. This has been another Forward Progress live watch along right here, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook. Everyone, enjoy your night tonight. Peace out.
Smash the like button on the way out.